Morning, Dad. Rotten day again by the looks of it.
Aye.
You'll not want to go down to the beach in this.
Nay.
Yeah, well, it's Saturday. We'll be back to dinner. If it clears up, the boys will give you a lift down then. I'll bring you a cup of tea.
They know you're there when you've something they want.
So what got you out of bed?
Oh, someone's fetching the car to the garage in half an hour.
Oh, did you get the rent sorted out for the new place?
No, not yet.
Oh, come on, I'll get you breakfast. There's no point in rousing your mother until her alarm goes off.
I'll give him Kira a shake.
Well, he'll not thank you for waking him an hour before his time.
Well, he asked me to last night, wants me to give him a lift in. What about you?
No, I'll clock in at the usual time. There'll be naught to do but gas to the cleaners if I get there early. What's Keir want to go in early for?
Search me.
Where did you pick him up last night?
At the club, I nipped in for one on my way home.
Had he been there all night?
I didn't ask.
So, you're going in with Blake?
Yeah, playing cricket for the club.
In this weather?
I said I'd borrow some pads off Les Wakely.
You'll not be into dinner then?
No, I'll get something with the lads.
I'm cooking breakfast. What do you want?
Nothing for me, thanks. I ate too much yesterday. I'll have a cup of tea, that's all.
You can't play cricket on a cup of tea.
I told you, I'll get something with the lads. Morning, Mum.
Morning.
Well, what do you want to get out of bed for? I can see to them.
Let the dog see the rabbit.
What's going on in the world, Grandad?
Do you care?
I try to.
It's yesterday's this. It's history now.
Career again. Another war, Grandad. I've had mine, thank God.
Could be young Lovett next, with his national service coming up.
Is it right that Jean will be leaving your old house when she gets wed?
Oh, so your mother's been talking to you, has she?
No, why?
Well, she wants it. She never liked this place, and she wants it.
So this would be empty?
If you moved, it would. If. It's a big word, if. What do you want a house for, any road?
See ya.
I knew Blake was going off early. What got Keir out of bed?
Oh, he's playing cricket after work. He wanted to borrow some pads. Oh, I forgot to tell you. He doesn't want any breakfast. He said he ate too much yesterday.
Going there for breakfast now, is he?
Where?
You know where. Married woman, husband in hospital. I'd never have thought it of our Keir.
What do you think all this performance is for, woman? Playing cricket. Even goes to the trouble of coming downstairs with a bat in his hand. It's all to protect his mother.
It's him that's in need of
He
protection.
knows what he's doing. Don't you recognise shame when you see it?
Anyway, he's not leaving here without breakfast. Wherever he's going.
What was all the racket last night?
You didn't hear all that much of it. You were fast asleep when I got back to bed.
What was Emil shouting about?
We had a nightmare.
Poor chap.
He wets the bed. We shall have to get rid of both mattresses when they've gone. Don't tell Paula that. She'll be embarrassed.
Why, does she wet the bed too?
Don't be disgusting. She has to take him in with her sometimes. She looks after him as if he were her own.
Blake's bastard. Hey, that hurt.
He was meant to.
I'm only saying what I heard Blake say once.
Oh, Blake says it because he feels guilty. Rams it down his own throat.
Maybe he should have married Rose then, become a Catholic. Sounds as if he needs a confessional.
Stop it.
What's Paula, by the way?
Sea of D, I suppose.
See what?
Church of Deutschland or whatever they call it. Or maybe she's like you, undecided.
Undecided? When did I last miss Mass?
No, when you do go, who'd you go to please? Me or God?
I suppose I go to please you. Won't that be pleasing God?
No, because it wouldn't please me. So think of another one,
Good morning.
Hello. I'll get your breakfast for you.
No, I will get
No,
it.
it's all right.
Setz dich da schön. Ja.
Emil?
Good morning. I'm sorry about him last night.
Apparently I'm capable of sleeping through earthquakes. I didn't hear a thing.
You are too polite. An English gentleman. You should say what you think in your own home.
Coffee?
Thank you.
At least mostly chicory.
I think you would like to know when we go, if you don't want to ask.
I would, as a matter of fact. There is a reason. Sorry to ask.
But I ask you to ask.
Oh, yeah?
Thank
You
you.
can talk to Blake, perhaps, or I will.
No, I will. I have already asked about work for me, but I do not hear yet. I'm sure it will be work with the hands, but I'm not proud. What can I do?
Oh, damn, it's empty.
No, I will get.
No, it's all right.
I will get.
Why did you ask her that?
Because, well, the fact is, we're going soon.
Oh, I'm off to work, Dad.
Well, be glad of it then.
George!
Yep.
Don't forget to pick up your shoes, they're ready.
Do I ever?
Yes.
20 years almost since I worked last. It's not work that gives a man dignity. It's ownership of property. Property, that's what it is.
You've done naught but pick at that breakfast ever since I gave it to you. Get on with it.
Do you like me looking at you? You don't, do you? You're shy, aren't you?
I'll shy this cup of tea over you if you don't shut up.
I never thought I'd see you shy.
I will.
No, you won't. We're not at that stage yet.
What stage is that?
Rouse.
Well, come.
About as you wanted me. Like you are, facing facts. Like Jack, somebody you'll feel safe with.
You can see that now, can you?
It wasn't that I couldn't see it, I just couldn't see it straight. Like Jack and you. Not like that woman across the street sees it. Me sneaking in with him in hospital, dying. See, you don't like it when it's put into words like that, do you?
It wasn't that.
No.
You're going to get on with that breakfast.
My mother made me eat hers before I came out. I couldn't tell her where I was coming, could I?
Couldn't you?
She wouldn't understand. She wants to see me settled, married.
What's wrong with that?
I've no right to talk about that.
Don't you think about it, then? Well, then.
I haven't got the right. Not yet. You're too honest for me sometimes. Just let me arrive at it in my own good time, eh? There you go. Steady as you go. That's it. There you go.
Blake! I brought you a customer.
It's lovely, eh?
Blake, this is Charlie.
How do?
How do? Mind if I take a shufty?
Yeah, round the back, help yourself. You've lost weight.
Yeah, just like that. £8 4 ounces. He's a big lad.
Yeah, they gave me the report. When's the wedding?
2 weeks. There's an invite for you at all. Hey, get your mucky hands out. Oh, I'm seeing your mother this afternoon. She's coming with me to Silport to help me choose my wedding outfit.
Right, taking the baby.
Oh, that would be good. A baby under one arm and a wedding dress in the other. No, him and Col are going to my mother's for the afternoon. And your day going to dawn?
When Nelson gets his eye back.
Blake!
His master's voice.
What's this foxhole there?
I came in this morning.
I like it. I'll take it now. What'll you give me if I leave me over?
Ah, I'll need to take a look. I've not made him an offer yet.
Is he on the phone?
Yeah?
Give him a ring. Sort it out. I'll give you what he asked me.
It's a nice-looking motor, but beauty's skin deep, you know. I'll need to give it a once-over. I don't sell rubbish.
You can do that next week. I've got to take the ladies out for a picnic after Silport. That's if this weather clears up. Hey, mine's got a rattle on it worse than my old mother. Right. I'll be back in about an hour. See what you've got to say for yourself. Pound notes.
Shouldn't you be in bed if you've been travelling all night?
I'm not tired. Do you always do the garden in your dressing gown?
Oh, it smells so good after the rain. I can't wait to get out. Makes such a change after being cooped up in the house all week.
Those long, dreary speeches.
Oh, there's a very high standard of debate in the House of Commons, my dears. You'll find out if we're ever fortunate enough to receive a visit from you, so don't you feel sorry for me.
I envy you.
What?
Your life. Don't suppose it's all beer and skittles. But it's not bloody boring, is it?
Oh, dear. Holiday not helped.
I left a note for Blake at his yard on my way back from the station.
Oh?
Well, you can guess what that means, can't you?
You'll give up your religion and marry him.
I'm 30 next year. You were 5 years younger than I am now when you had me. It only needs a few more years to slip away and I'll have had it. I don't think God wants that.
You know better than the church, do you, what God wants?
I thought you'd be on my side.
I am. But I know what it takes to live outside it.
And you don't think I've got what it takes?
What I do know is you need to be sure. And you are not.
brought you something from Italy.
You're late.
Don't manage.
They were good to Jack when he were off. He got his full wages all the time he were on sick.
Now, stop it. You'll make me cry.
Well, that's better than some.
That makes it right, does it?
Oh, you think it was entitled to more, do you?
I'll write you a book about it.
I've seen nothing you write. What do you write about?
This and that.
Politics, I suppose.
Not so you'd notice. Not in that way. What time are you going to the hospital?
After dinner.
I'll go straight home from work and see you when you get back, all right?
And not no one's there.
You'll know.
Smee said that to you when he first went in.
I'll listen then, don't I? See ya.
Ta-ra.
Peg, slow down. You must take care.
Are you going away?
Back on Tuesday. I don't leave until tonight, but I won't be coming back to the house. Did you want me?
Yes.
Yes, and put those in the car for me, will you? Come on, me. I always like to take this view of the lake with me when I go away.
It's lovely.
I have the photograph on my desk in Washington all through the war. Me and Beth and the children standing down there. Mark very stiff, not smiling. Shadow of a cloud across the lake. All the light and shade. Now, what is it, my love?
Mark says we're leaving here.
Oh. So he's told you already?
You knew.
Not from him. And only that it was a possibility. I didn't want to alarm you.
Because of that row you had?
Oh. Is that what he says?
He says it's because he can't stand working with Roberts at the estate office. In any case, I don't see why we can't stay on at the flat. He's only going to work at the mine.
He is?
Didn't you know?
No, I didn't. I assumed from Richard it was something quite different.
Mr. Blaze? Feeling better, are we?
Now we've seen you, we are.
If the Tories get in, assuming Labour goes for an election between now and next February, they'll repeal the Act. If Labour get back, there'll be no change in the ownership of the capital.
Well, I was worrying about Mark flitting from job to job.
Be a hell of a lot more secure than most jobs in private industry.
Well, it's Peg's health I was worrying about mostly.
Right, of course.
You're much more philosophical about the industry since we talked last. I thought you had some new project in mind.
I had.
But, not now?
Well, you know, I went to Germany a couple of weeks back.
Yeah.
They're expecting their output of steel to be somewhere in the region of 12 million metric tons this year. That's 30% up on last year. Our output will be down.
And theirs won't.
Right. We're producing from ancient plant at high cost, whilst they're re-equipping like mad. We hold back from investments simply so the Federation can preserve a seller's market.
That worries you?
The market will be there in any case, in my opinion.
And we'll be nationalised.
Unless there's a change of government.
Well, if the Tories get back and repeal the Act, what then?
I imagine they'll reconstitute the old firms as joint stock companies. Sell the shares on the open market. Then you'll be able to reacquire this place. Is that what you'd want?
Well, that's best.
Well, I must be off. Nice talking to you, John.
Thanks for coming, Richard. Put my mind at rest.
Question is, if Labour do go for an election, will they get back? Ask the good lady what she thinks her chances are. Let me know what she says.
I will.
What did Richard want?
It's Mark. taking a job in the mine.
Oh? I thought there was something else in the offing.
Well, so did I, but he seems to have changed his mind. He doesn't think much of your prospects at the next election. Thinks the Tories may repeal the Iron and Steel Act.
Oh, does he?
Sorry. We'll try and keep off the subject, don't we?
Maybe Richard ought to talk to Bob Maxwell, his union convener of the mines. He says that Richard is cutting back investment to the point that safety is threatened.
Oh, no, I find that hard to believe.
You always assume your own standards in other people, don't you, John?
You really think I'm all that naive? Is that rather a belittling assumption on your part?
Rose is back. I wish you'd talk to her, John. She seems determined to marry Blake.
I hope she'd drop all that.
It won't work. Oh, for a time it might, but not for a lifetime. She couldn't cope with the guilt.
Can you?
You're not to talk too much.
Are you managing?
And you're not to worry about Hope either.
Yeah, how long have I been in here?
What did the sister tell you?
Aye.
What are you asking me for then?
Well, I never believe anything anybody tells me but you. This in Kia.
Aye. He's been in to see you, but you weren't here.
Oh. Where was that?
Well, I don't know where you go when my back's turned, do I?
I'd just stop there if I could.
Don't talk so daft. I didn't trail all this way to listen to daft talk.
What I like about it most will give it most trouble happen. It's straight. A different way from you. Then there's all them lace curtains. Nice pedestrians. Peeping at him. Working class morality.
I haven't the slightest idea what you're talking about. We shall have you out of here soon.
I'll fight you all the way.
Aye, but you'll lose. You'll lose.
Can I see him tonight?
I'll ask him.
I think that's why he's been having the night nurse. He's been meeting so many new people.
But once he goes there, he'll get used to it and he'll love it.
You don't know him as I do.
I don't get much opportunity to know him, do I? You make no effort to teach him English. The few words he knows he gets from Peg and me.
So you teach him, yeah?
What time do I get?
For a son, a father makes time.
And when is he to be told he's my son? When? You still think that your brother and Hertel will escape to the west, don't you? That you'll all live happily ever after in West Berlin or some such place? If you won't tell him, I will.
$200, $300, $400, $500, £600.
Robert's going to do his national service soon. Is he? It didn't worry me till the war started in Korea. I hope he doesn't get sent out there.
Oh, I hope not. I had a letter from Ernst last week.
Oh?
It was sent on by a bloke who was in the camp here with him.
He's alive.
He's 5 years old.
Oh.
The bloke that sent it was put in a concentration camp when they got back to Russia. He said I'd not to hope, but a lot of them have been shot. As if he thought I was sat here waiting.
Gingy! It's mine!
go for a spin!
He only wanted that car because it's bigger than his brother's.
In cash, eh?
It's all cash these days, Dad. Every time Cripps slaps us down, up springs the Charlies.
You know what Churchill said about Cripps, don't you? There but for the grace of God
Goes
goes
God.
to...
You telling jokes against your own side?
Used to be your side once. You can tell jokes against your own side if you know which side you're on, but you don't, do you? Why don't you give up this business of being on your own and get yourself a decent, steady job?
Well, wife, house, family. What a mate of mine in the army used to call the whole bloody catastrophe.
Got a son? Get him a mother.
He's got one in East Germany.
I doubt if she'll ever get out. Stalin's building a wall around himself.
Are you going to be able to get Paula a job?
I'll keep trying. The prospects aren't good. You know why as well as I do. Did Keir say what time he'd be home when you dropped him?
Nope.
Never know where the hell he is these days. At least we know, but we're not supposed to know. I dare say you know and all.
How does Mum feel about you?
She'll not be contented until she sees you both wed. She can't see marriage at the end of this thing of Keir's. She thought she could with you and Ros Warrington.
Shattered her dreams, did I?
Oh, we could never make up our minds. Who'd back down, you or Ros? Or was there someone else?
Oh, there was someone else.
Do you want a cup? I made you some tea.
Lovely. Did you sleep?
No. I never can during the day. It never works for me, whatever it is.
Oh, you'll be afraid of not hearing the door, of course. Has he been?
No.
Thank you. In this letter, did you say you were ready to marry him?
No, I just said I wanted to talk.
So you haven't exactly burned your boats, then?
Not exactly.
What are you expecting, Ross?
I don't think I'm expecting anything.
Really?
I'm vaguely hoping for some sort of a miracle, maybe. I've given up expecting since the war. I expected everything to go back to what we used to call normal when it was over. And it didn't, did it?
What do you call normal?
Knowing where you're placed in the scheme of things. What's expected of you. What you can get away with and what you can't. You know how it was.
I know what my place was.
Yes, and you didn't like it. But I did.
Blake Hayward would not have fitted into that scheme of things.
But there'd have been someone. A Catholic like me, someone of my own class.
Oh, I saw your father today. I told him you were back.
I sent him a card from Paris. Is he coming?
Oh, he has to go away for a couple of days.
Oh, well.
I'll go.
Hello. We're through in the kitchen. Come through.
Hello. Your father rang me, said you were back. That new rig you told me to get for my boat, it doesn't work for me at all. I think you'd better come and see it, don't you?
I'm expecting someone.
Who may or may not come.
Oh, well, you know what to do about people who can't make up their minds, don't you? Get your gear, huh? Get your gear.
100 miles an hour straight.
Ta-da!
George. Oh, yes, someday now. Steady across the line. There we go. That's it. And the other one. Oh, yes, someday. I'll teach you to drive someday.
Good grief.
There she is. There we go.
Getting to be nothing special now, riding a motor car. Treat of a lifetime before war.
Yeah. See ya.
Hey, you must have a tidy bit put by. All the, overtime you've done. Why don't you buy yourself one?
Get myself tied to the system. I like to travel with what I can carry on 2 legs.
Still travelling, Keir?
Aye.
No, turn your head like you were when I came in.
And why should I?
'Cause I'm asking you to.
Oh, I'm supposed to take orders now, am I?
Yes.
What, like this?
Hmm.
And do I close my eyes, open my mouth and see what God sends?
Yeah.
What's all that about?
Little lass. Sat across from me in a classroom 20-odd years ago, looking out of the window. What did you see out of that window?
You. Being cheeky to Mrs. Foster at number 10. Hey, I've got to live in this street, you know.
Just seeing if I can carry you.
I've got 2 perfectly good legs of my own, thanks.
Aye, well, I'm done with travelling anyway.
I'm not surprised. All that flying. What was it like?
Well, it gives one an outlook on life. Flying over a target, dropping bombs. They can't understand at home why I'm not married. It worries them. I've really never seen much point in marriage if you don't want kids.
And don't you?
Jack had his reasons for not wanting them, didn't he?
Aye, but they were his. They don't have to be yours.
It all boils down to a world fit for people to live in. Not just a place that you patch up because you happen to be unlucky enough to live in it anyway. Is Jack any worse?
You were full of yourself when you came in. Where's it all gone?
Up in an aeroplane. How is he?
Sitting up. Sitting up and taking notice, they say, don't they? He wants to see you tonight.
I suppose Father's been getting at you? He wouldn't understand someone like Richard.
Oh, he likes them enormously.
Oh, so it's you then?
Oh, I don't dislike him. He's part of the world your sister's so nostalgic about, that pre-war world where we all knew our places. He'd like to undo everything the Attlee government's done and put the clock back, the old status quo.
You're dead wrong, Mother. All he talks about is the future.
Yes, a long succession of Tory governments.
I wondered when politics had come
Well,
into it.
of course politics comes in.
I don't see what they've got to do with my taking this job. Anyway, it's all settled.
And leaving here?
That's settled too. And this is a tied cottage, so far as I'm concerned. It goes with the job. I want a place of my own. I'm sorry, but I'm just not prepared to argue the point. What are you smiling at?
You being positive. Oh, he's had quite an influence on you, hasn't he?
Don't you think it's time I did something positive? You did.
Yes, but the question is, was I right? It isn't sufficient in life to be positive. You have to know...
Have you told him?
No. Well, after all, that was your idea. And then leaving at this stage in the pregnancy, aren't you worried about Peg's heart?
Of course I'm worried. Tell me what?
Oh. Peg wants Pilot to stay on here when you've gone.
I don't suppose Father would object to that.
No, he doesn't. I asked him. There might be a job at the house for her too when Mrs. Marshall leaves.
I will stay here, you know. If you're absolutely desperate about it, I will.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, hello.
Mark, come and help us move Richard's damn boat, will you? Someone's pulled it up too far.
Richard not strong enough?
Apparently not.
Won't be long.
Well? Oh, he's completely sold on it, isn't he?
Yes.
Oh. Has Blake been here, by the way?
No, he doesn't come here all that often these days.
Oh, I just wondered. Well, I think I'll go into the garden and read those. What? Constituents' letters. I shall go and read them where I used to read all my books years ago.
Feeling nostalgic?
Perhaps. There's something else I wanted to say to him about Richard. It would have been hurtful to him, so I'll say it to you. You know him as well as I do, and you're far tougher than he is. If you'd wanted a young, dynamic manager, qualified, positive, hard, would Mark be your choice?
I'll think about that one.
By the way, Grandad's going to let us have his house when you move.
Oh, I thought he'd come round in the end. It's not a bad street. The neighbours are nice.
I've never had neighbours. Didn't seem to matter at the old house.
Oh, you know what I thought when that old house burnt down?
What?
What Owen told us when he came back from that Jap POW camp. How he used to lay awake remembering the pattern on the wallpaper in that room we had.
Oh, yes.
All those letters of his that went up in the fire.
Everything went in that fire.
Given me up for good, had you?
Of course not.
Well, they work at it, don't they? Keeping you alive.
It's their job.
It's their job. I'm glad she's got you.
I'm not much use.
I was glad when I opened my eyes and saw the sun coming in that window. Young nurses having a giggle in that corridor. It's a while before it dawns on you that it's still out there. All the old rubbish in life.
We'll have a day out when you're back on your feet like we did before.
Aye, it were a good day, that. She'll never let me go, you know.
I know that.
I wanted to. Then again, I don't. Are you with me?
Aye.
Still, she's got you now.
Me?
Somebody to turn to. Not be left on her own. It's what I wanted, you understand?
She'll want to work with you before we go.
Can't put it any plainer than that.
If she wants me, I'll be there. If there's nobody else, I'll be there.
Oh, no. Du bist zu schnell für mich, Emil.
Oh, I was glad about your news. A flat and a job.
I shall earn money, and I shall be free.
Isn't it terrible how money frees us?
Terrible.
Papa.
I told him. You've come to teach him more English words.
I'll follow you into the house.
Come, Emile.
Where's Ros?
She's out there somewhere sailing.
You know about this? You know it'd be a disaster too, don't you? In the end. He competes in a different class to me.
Richard?
Richard?
He's out in the boat with her now.
Ros, Richard, and God. Richard's Catholic, of course.
Of sorts.
What does that mean?
He's the sort that goes by the book, follows the ritual.
3 cheers for Richard.
A war didn't change the basics of life, Ros. You only need to get back. Safe ground, familiar ground, things we know. Nothing's really changed. Nothing. Nothing at all.
He asked me if I'd given him up for dead. And in the back of me mind, I had. I could never have let it happen in this house. Not if I'd thought that he was coming back to it.
It's what he wanted to happen. You know it is.
Yes, I do. I know that.
It's what he said about you, isn't it? Working class morality, he said.
Oh, what's wrong with that?
Well, it's 2 streets away from me and Jack. What's working class without work? It's what we are. Right at the bottom of the stinking pile we are. Even the rest of the street looks down on us. That's working class morality.
Ah, well, it's grained in me.
But it was all right when he was dying, though, wasn't it? When you thought he was.
You can't shame me any more than the shame I've already got.
We can't afford shame. And that makes me shameless, I suppose. What is it? What worries you? What your mother will think to it? Is that what stopped you thinking straight?
I dream of Jeannie with the
Oh, Charlie, not that again.
Oh, all right then. Hey, Mrs. Haywards, give us a song.
Yeah.
Be careful. If you ask me again, I will.
Oh, come on, give us a song
Come on,
now.
she's a lovely singing.
Let me see if you know this. I'm discontented with homes that are rented, so I have invented my own.
Not a clue, not a clue.
Cozy to hide in, to live side by side in. Don't let it abide in my dreams.
Oh, yes.
Da, da, da. Picture you upon my knee. Just tea for two, and two for tea. Me for you, and you for me alone. Tiddly-dum, diddly-diddly-dum. To see us or hear us, no friends or relations, on weekend vacations. Friends or relations, on weekend vacations. Charlie!
You waiting for the sun to go down?
Sunsets are better these days, they say. The dust up there from the atomic bomb.
What's Blake working off?
You better ask him.
I shall have another crack at London.
Your mother will lay awake at nights.
Not you, though.
It's Peg I worry about. A safe job and a pension is what we used to strive for. Now they want the stars.
There's no contentment anymore. Nobody knows their place.
Things have changed, Dan. Be a different world for those two lads.
Aye, and if they get what they want and they don't have to scrat no more, what then? What then, Maester?
This is a story of a Cumbrian ironworks and of two families, the owners, the wealthy Catholic Warringtons, and the Haywards, working class, dependent on the works for a living. When their old home burnt down, the Haywards moved to a smaller, bleaker house where Helen can never feel at home. Grandad is aging fast and the family is breaking up. But across the differences of class and religion, the marriage of Peg Hayward and Mark Warrington flourishes, and despite her weak heart, Peg hankers for a baby. Her brother Blake has had an affair with Ros Warrington, an affair haunted by her guilt about her religion and by his memory of the German girl, Herta, whom he met and lost at the end of the war. Herta has now borne him a son he has never seen. The other brother, Keir, visiting a sick workmate, Jack Blaze, finds himself involved with Jack's wife, Martha, but cannot face his own feelings. John Warrington's ironworks are threatened with nationalisation, and at the same time his estranged wife, Beth, wins a local by-election as a Labour candidate. This makes the break between them final. His cousin Richard, owner of the nearby iron mines, starts to take an interest in the ironworks and in Ros. Blake is in danger of losing Ros, and with his garage business not doing well, has another shock when his son, Emil, arrives in Whitstanton from Germany. But it is not the boy's mother who brings him, it is her sister-in-law, the beautiful German girl, Paula. Jean Hayward, defiantly facing unhappiness after her husband Owen's death, is beginning to find peace with a new man, Charlie, and with a baby. But Charlie snaps up a car from Blake's garage before Blake can check it. The steering is loose. Jean, Charlie and Helen will not return from their picnic. Peg, however, defying all warnings about her heart condition, is determined that new life shall come to the two families.
Mason, stop a moment, will you?
Someone been taken ill? Yes, sir. George Hayward, sir.
Been sent to tell you it's cold out here.
Oh, rubbish. Mark's an old warrior.
Can you blame him the way you drag him along life's stony path?
Do I?
I don't suppose it'll be long before you're telling him you're pregnant again.
I hope not.
Brought this one out to see the birds.
You look after Mark while I'm away. Richard says he could have come with you. He's not all that desperately needed at work.
Oh, don't tell him that, will you? He needs to feel needed.
Don't we all?
It's extraordinary. Can't be much more than a year since you lost the first baby.
Yes, when her mother was killed. It's the only time I've seen her so close to defeat.
Yet there she is, the latest Warrington in her arms. How she must love life.
Don't you?
Very rarely. You don't much like it at the Mines Estate Office, do you?
Well, it's the only job I'm really qualified to do.
You didn't answer the question.
I'm not complaining.
Look, I don't want you to think you'll be there forever, Mark. I have a good reason for wanting you to stay on the property side. I can't go into it now, but, well, let's say that I'm just sitting quietly on the bank at the moment, paddling my feet in the post-war stream.
You know, the people in the office don't say much when I'm around. Well, they know we're related, of course, but they're damn surprised that you decided to stay on after nationalisation. So was I, as a matter of fact.
Perhaps I was, too. Your father stayed on at the ironworks. Well, he stayed on the board.
Oh, Father won't ever move. He can spend more time on the estate now. He'll have invested his compensation wisely and carefully. You know what he's like. Where's Owen?
In the garden with Roz. Where do you think he is? Having a pint at the local boozer?
Well, shouldn't he come in?
Oh, stop fussing. Can you find me a case I want to pack tonight?
Oh, yes. I think I left them in the box room when we first moved here. I'll see what I can find.
So, whereabouts are you going?
Oh, just for a week on the South Wales coast. Some friends of ours have taken a cottage.
Well, Peg, I like what you're doing with the house. Your ideas or Mark's?
Oh, it's all democratically discussed. Where are you and Ross going to live?
You're assuming marriage, I take it?
Isn't it time you proposed?
We're Catholics, Peg. When it's for life, you have to be that much more certain, don't you?
I never thought Blake was right for you, you know, even though he is my brother.
You're a very forthright creature, aren't you?
Is that what you're waiting for? To be sure it's over between her and Blake?
Forthright and perceptive, too.
Rose?
Blake?
Peg in the house.
Yes. Blake? Something wrong?
Dad's been taken to hospital.
They said I could see you for a moment.
Oh, hello.
Anything I can do, George?
Oh, yes. You could let Blake know where I am.
Well, I've seen to that already.
And I don't want this to interfere with Peg's holiday. She needs a rest.
Well, she's completely recovered from having her in. Bit of a miracle, really.
Yeah. It's something to do with my stomach. Well, it's been playing me up ever since Ellen and Jean were killed. And then Peg losing her first baby, and then Dad dying. At least he did it peacefully. They say troubles never come singly, don't they?
That's what they say.
And Blake's let things go at the yard, too. The house has been getting him down, I think. Just the two of us, men, trying to do a woman's work.
Well, I never had to cope with that. Just the loneliness, being on one's own.
Yes, it's the worst.
What's that, George?
I said, that's the worst.
Oh, yes. It's better now since Paula came. And Blake's boy running about the house. Paula's an intelligent woman. She's become more of a companion, really.
Has she converted you to socialism yet?
Not yet.
She'll be trying, though.
From time to time. But perhaps I'd better go. I'm making you talk too much.
No. There's no better medicine than a friendly conversation.
We should have got together more often, George. We had every excuse after Mark married Peg.
Oh, I was at home most nights.
And so was I.
I didn't think you'd want me coming visiting.
I felt the same myself.
They've gone.
We don't have to wait, do we?
No. Just drop the latch when we go.
Ah, such a nice little house.
Thought you didn't like little houses.
I don't usually, but this one feels good.
It's them.
Yes, I think you're probably right.
Mark once told me that When he met Peg, it was love at first sight. I believe him. You can feel it in this room. It's gone on.
Yes, I envy Mark.
You?
Surprised? Why?
I expected you to see it as a lack of maturity.
Well, I do in a way. It does hold him back. Though not Peg, I think.
Then what do you envy?
Intrigue?
Yes, I am.
Then I'm not going to tell you.
It's not a weapon you need. You've always intrigued me. Unhappy childhood and that big house of your father's, and yet you like big houses.
Go on.
You're secure. More private and walled in than anyone I know. And yet you're not secure enough to ask me to marry you until you're absolutely certain I'll say yes.
Do you mind it, this waiting?
No. I want that kind of certainty too.
I thought I had it once with my wife.
Probably have kept it if she'd lived.
You know, I said to Mark just now in this room about Peg. How she must love life. Don't you? Rarely, I said. Very rarely.
Sit yourselves down. Play from your garden?
Yes, last of the autumn show.
Oh, well, at least it isn't a wreath. There's naught wrong with me, really, you know. I'm just after a bit of sympathy.
Well, we know that.
Hey, she's got to go on that holiday tomorrow. I'm not having her stopping at home because of me.
I shall do as I like.
I'm talking to the master of the house, not you.
Well, I shall go tomorrow, but only because I know you'll nag me if I don't. I'll get some water for these.
She feels she's neglected you.
Who, Peg?
I've not been to see you often enough.
Oh, she's got her own life to live.
It's not that we go anywhere else. We just like being at home, that's all.
Yeah, I was always a home bird myself. Listen, she's not to go up to the house when she gets back off holiday, not if I'm still in here. And if you can't stop her, make sure you see Blake first. Well, we've let it get a bit run down. Well, she'd only worry about us.
Oh, so that's why you kept us talking in the garden the last time we came.
That was it.
Mrs. Warrington? Yes? You don't remember me, do you?
No, I'm sorry.
Me and Jack were friends of Keir. I'm Martha Blaze.
Oh, yes.
The nurse says your dad's in.
Yes, but I don't think it's too serious.
Oh, I'm glad about that. I used to chat to him when he came in the club.
Oh, I'll tell him you asked about him.
Yeah, she would. I better be off. Jack will be wondering where I am. Charlie, bye.
Mrs. Blaze? You might like to know. Blake sent for Keir. He's coming home tomorrow.
Hello.
Here.
Thanks.
Going home?
Yeah, Dad's been taken ill.
I heard on the phone before I left the house. He was organising my surgery this weekend.
Sounds like he's in for some surgery himself. It's no use crying, is it? What are you doing sitting with the rank and file?
Well, I always travel third class.
You shouldn't. Should be up there, putting the boot in the enemy lines, converting the bastards.
You think they're open to conversion?
No, but at least you could say you'd tried.
Oh, I read your article in Tribune.
No, I should say, which one, to prove I'm regular. The last 3 issues, anyway. Did it surprise you seeing my name on it?
No.
Surprises most people. They say, what a surprise seeing your name on a thing like that. What they mean is, what's an uncouth devil like me with a rough northern accent think he's up to writing in an intellectual magazine? I mean, articulate left-wingers have at least to have been to public school to excuse the cheek. With me grammar all right. Well, I do have a problem with it. I can usually get it right on the page, so when I open my mouth, I put my foot in it. I expect you've noticed. What about our Peg?
Marvellous, isn't it?
Does she look well?
She looks great.
Oh dear, it's all going on and I'm missing it all.
Homesick?
I was. It'll vanish a mile at a time.
If we send Emil to school, we'll be able to give some more time to your situation.
My situation?
The uncertainty. Not knowing whether you'll be able to go back to Germany. Planning a future for yourself in case you can't.
This school, it will cost money?
Oh, that's beside the point.
But why should you do it?
Selfish reasons. I'm trying to plan my future, too. My family don't greatly need me. It's a world I can't go back to. It's a world that includes this house.
But you love this house.
Well, I love my family, but I've lost them. I've always tried to face the realities of life.
And you think I don't?
But it's not easy breaking the habit of a lifetime, like starting afresh. Since the war ended, every now and again, I've felt like an alien in my own land. We're not unlike in our predicaments, you and I.
Then will you ask Blake for me? His permission. I am afraid if I ask, he will not agree.
Yes, if you want me to.
He does not like me very much, I think.
I was hoping to catch you, but feared you might be in London.
I got back half an hour ago. I'm just on my way to a meeting.
Don't you get tired of all these meetings?
No, they keep me alive. It's London that tires me. Do you know we're wheeling them into the house in bath chairs to vote because we've only got a majority of 6?
Well, you weren't too damn tired to nationalise my industry.
Do you know, I can't remember more than 2 or 3 times in all these years you've spoken to me with real anger. You're free of me, aren't you?
Free?
Ever since the war, I've had the impression you hoped we'd get together again. That's no longer true, is it? Is it?
Just a small...
How you feeling?
Well, you always feel better when somebody's worried about you.
You've had that stomach since Mum died.
I've had this stomach since the day I was born, to the best of my knowledge. Listen, I want to ask you something. What are you going to do with your share of what your granddad left?
Up to sell his house first.
And what then?
Well, give Keir his half and put mine into the business.
Well, you're going to have to ask Keir first. Well, one of you might need that house if you ever decide to get wed. And it'd make a home for that lad of yours, like you've always had.
His home's with his mother in Germany if she gets free. His home's with Herter and Brandt.
I'll never get free from the East.
You try telling that to Paula Brandt.
Have you seen John Warrington lately?
No, I don't go up there myself.
You've given up the ghost?
Do you know, Dad? That's what they are. Ghosts from the war. Herter, Emil, Brandt. There's another one, too. Me in uniform. Officer class. Full of ideas of what I was gonna do when it was all over.
You're your own boss. You make a living out of doing up those cars of yours. What more do you want?
A life, Dad.
Somebody been talking about me, have they? Oh, you needn't bother to answer. I know what's said. I'm not going to waste my breath arguing about it. I don't know what he sees in you. If it's part of his life that's naught to do with me, you can stop away for all I care, just so long as he knows where he stands. You're of no interest to me, people like you. You just like telling other people how to behave. Well, put your money where your mouth is, Keir. It's up to you.
Hello, Martha.
Oh, hello.
Blake.
Hi. I saw your sister yesterday. She said your dad's in.
Yeah, he'll be okay. You waiting for somebody?
No. I'm just waiting till it's time for the bus.
I have a car outside. Can I give you a lift?
Never say no to a lift.
I don't understand how you knew about it. I didn't tell anyone.
It was something you said on the way here today.
Oh? Whatever could it have been?
You said, I quite liked America, and watching you at the Federation meeting just now, you were the only one there who didn't speak, and I suddenly thought, he's not with us. He's not here.
Wasn't so obvious.
The point is, can I have first refusal?
Well, I may not go through with it, you understand?
Oh, I think you will.
Yes, possibly. I suppose one can't go on indefinitely attending meetings at which one isn't actually there.
Excuse me a sec. I've just got to see to me buckets.
fill her with another pint or two. We've got 2 bad leaks and all that rain.
I see he was in the army.
Oh, that was my brother that was killed on D-Day. Jack was in the Navy. What was it you wanted?
A bit of wire that kind of bends and stays bent, if you know that.
I don't, but I'll have a look. Come in. Jack used to keep stuff like that up here. Thought you dealt in cars. Are they all tied up with bits of wire?
They often are when I get them. Who owns this dump?
Oh, I'll have hit you once for calling it a dump. Mining company owns it.
Nationalised this year. State owns it now.
Well, if you told me.
What makes you think you've a right to be told?
I beg your
Sorry.
pardon.
I was hitting at them, not you.
Hmm.
What's your rent?
18 bob a week. I'd be glad to pay for all we ate the street. There'd be dozens down from the Klondike if it ever came up for rent.
Klondike?
Well, an atomic energy site up the coast. Wages are sky high, they say, don't they?
Still work at the club?
No. Cuts across visiting time. Didn't let me start later. Wasn't just the money. Got me out. It's rotten, this place, without him. Hey, is that any good?
That's just the job.
No, we're short of note we've got, are we?
Anything you want me to tell Kia?
No, I don't think so. What did he tell you about me?
Nothing. Dad told me as much as I know, which isn't much.
He was always scared of his mother finding out. Me being married.
She knew. She wasn't the type to make a song and dance about it.
I bet she wished me far enough, even so.
Probably. He's your husband now?
It was his idea in a way. Kia was his mate at the ironworks, somebody he could leave him with. Shocks you, does it?
No, not in the way you mean.
Shock Kia. He tried to cope with it when he thought Jack was dying, but he got too much for him in the end.
Kia's a Puritan.
Not you, though, eh?
No, not me.
I'll be back at my garage in a couple of hours. Come and see me, eh?
What for?
Come and see me.
Look, he shows you how he works.
He's a good little German. He's a grafter. Do you like it here? Are you happy?
I have work. I have a place to live. Should I expect to be happy as well?
His English doesn't get much better.
Does it matter when you don't come to speak to him?
You complain?
Since I told him you were his father, he never stops talking about you, as you told me to.
Yeah, well, I was wrong. I mean, a kid needs something steady in his life. Stability, like this place. I know it's been a long time since I asked you about Herta and Brandt. It's not that I don't care.
I know why you don't ask.
How long is it going to be before we both agree we're never going to see them again? I like to know where I'm going, whether the kid's going to stay with you or come to me.
You don't want him anymore. You don't want him, but you will not say it.
Yeah, well, I've work to do. I've done my rounds, my duties. I visited the sick, the unhappy, the forsaken. Say goodbye to him for me.
thought you had a meeting.
We had. We had to call it off. We didn't have a quorum.
Party faithful losing their enthusiasm?
Surprising if they are, with all the dissension in the cabinet.
Who said there's dissension in the cabinet?
You did.
Trust a couple of rabid Tories like you two to pounce on that.
You should exercise more discretion. And Bevan did resign.
Against putting charges on dentures and specs.
And Wilson. And John Freeman.
I wish Daddy was here.
What brought that to the surface?
Us, arguing like a family over the washing up.
Well, in the first place, we never discussed politics. In the second place, the staff did the washing up.
Well, we should have. Both.
In that case, it would have been 3-1.
Is Richard all right?
Oh, yes, he's happy with that book.
It's not very polite, is it? I better go and chat to him.
He walks out on anything involving Daddy. Why?
You just can't put the clock back, Ross, that's all.
I just hate the thought of him up at Lake House on his own, while we're being happy down here.
Well, I'm glad to hear you're happy, anyway.
You know what I mean.
Yes, I know what you mean.
Then why?
You just can't put the clock back, that's all.
It wouldn't have happened if it hadn't been for the war, would it?
No, I don't suppose it would. If it hadn't been for the war, I'd have been the middle-aged wife of a very nice man. Well, then the war messed your life up, too.
Probably have messed my life up anyway.
You going to marry Richard?
I'll think about it, if he asks me.
He hasn't?
No.
If he does and you say you will, it won't be just because he's a Catholic and there aren't all the other complications, will it?
I thought you wanted me to marry a Catholic.
Roz, I think you'd better get your coat.
I take it we're going somewhere.
We are.
Then I'd better do as I'm told.
When's the next election, Beth?
Maybe sooner than you think.
Can't come soon enough for me. I want my iron mines back.
So that you can keep a seller's market. Set your own price.
Price? Supply and demand. The Korean War, Beth. Now that we're rearming, the demand goes up and the price goes up regardless of nationalization.
I thought you were going to get out, regardless of nationalization. I thought you had your eye on some more profitable field. What changed your mind?
Germany? Well, now that we're going to let the Germans rearm, maybe they'll be on our side next. Against who? Russia, perhaps?
You can contemplate the prospect of another war? When your wife and the children were killed by German bombs?
I contemplate reality, Beth. Your socialist theories don't relate to what I see.
Well, they'd better. There's not much hope for the world in the kind of jungle you seem to accept.
Oh, come on, Beth. We mustn't quarrel, you and I.
Mustn't we? Why not?
I don't know. They let you in outside visiting hours. They give you a chair, now they give you a cup of tea.
I told him I'd come all the way from London. And then I met, what's her name? Maisie Buff.
Oh, yeah, she's sister in Women's Ward. She sought me out after she'd heard your thing in the wireless. She said she was glad you were getting on, but she didn't like it.
Thanks for writing to me after it. I know you're not much on letters, but I like knowing what you think.
Your mum would have been proud of it.
Grandad would have loved it.
Well, you can't please everyone. Have you been up to the house?
Aye.
Did Blake get back before you left?
No. Is it still off between him and Ros Warrington?
Aye, as far as I know.
Who's he taking up with now?
Nobody, judging by his mood.
Is he hard to live with?
It's bearable, just about. Hey, you'll not get to fighting, you two, while I'm not there.
I'll not be there long enough.
Do you, like it down there?
No.
Always knew you'd be the one to go away. University for you, we thought. Then a doctor, that's what your man wanted.
A doctor?
You had it in you. Passed every exam you took. Up to being called up, why you didn't take your deferment, I'll never know.
There was a war on. Blake had already gone. I didn't see why I should be left out. The Japs taking Owen made it very personal.
You could come back. If you wanted to, you could.
I don't fit in. Anyway, it grieved you, didn't it? Seeing me working as a labourer at the ironworks.
Yeah, only because I'd seen you in that room of yours in the old house, night after night, hour after hour, labouring with your mind. It was Blake's future, the ironworks, not yours. Oh, well. You're doing well now. You wouldn't want to come back to this dead hole.
Aye. I'm doing well.
It's a man's world, this. What would I do here?
You said you wanted a job.
You haven't got a job. You're just trying to make one up. What's Keir got out to do with this?
Keir?
To be like him, to try and see me all right.
Well, his conscience.
It was conscience that took him off. He's great on conscience. He lives in another world.
He'll not come back to this one. Now he's making his way down there.
I liked his thing on the wireless.
Yeah. Not many did round here. No wonder he left the place, if that's how he sees it.
That's how I see it.
I thought you said he lived in another world.
He does. Like Jack. They think they can make this one better through politics. Well, he says he got it off his dad. How about you?
Yeah, when I was a lad. And I believed it. I've been through a war since then.
Oh, well, so did Keir.
It was up in the air, his war. Not on the ground where the damage is done. A brill-cream boy was our Keir.
I'm jealous of you.
Jealous? What of?
Thought they were supposed to be the glamour boys, the rap.
He was always the glamour boy, Keir.
Anyway, thanks for offering me a job you've not got. What did you want, really? Hey?
You remind me of what I was once.
Oh. And what was that?
Knowing where I stood. Mechanic at the ironworks. No big ideas about life.
Oh, I wouldn't call this Morris Motors. Was that the idea?
Something like that.
What went wrong?
Started after my mum was killed. In a car that I'd sold for Mia. I'd not been over it, but he wanted it right away, so we took it.
It's not your fault, though.
No. But I couldn't stand the place for weeks after that. The books got behind, the paperwork. The bloody red tape you have to live with these days. I've not been coming in regular for weeks now.
The books, you said?
Yeah, I'm hopeless with the books.
I used to do books down at Makins during the war. I'll be here at 9 o'clock tomorrow. And if you're not here, I'll go. I don't hold with folk who don't turn up on time.
So I won't tell him that you came. Oh, we'll probably see him tomorrow.
Would you excuse me just a moment? There's something I'd like to look at.
You like the work here? Yes. Yes, I like it. Wouldn't you rather be in Germany? Sorry, that's stupid. Of course you would. There's no one there for me now. But my brother, and they say he's dead. They wish me to believe that he's dead. Do you believe it? I try not to, but sometimes I do. Then there's the boy's mother, but I haven't heard. And his father doesn't want him. Blake? Oh, I'm sorry. Will you excuse me? It's very cold. Yes, of course. I will tell him that you were here. Oh, I love this house.
Don't most people have a special feeling about the houses they spent their childhood in?
You hate yours.
Ah, yes, well, there you are. My special feelings hate. Result of a hateful childhood.
Sorry Daddy wasn't at home.
Well, that's all right. I didn't especially want to see him.
What did you want to look at?
The garden, the view. It's a wonderful view. Makes me even happier at buying the place.
This place?
Of course.
How's Jack?
The same. Will you go and see him while you're here?
No.
I didn't tell him about you and me. He thinks you went to get away from temptation. Not because you've given in to it.
I'm glad he thinks that.
Are you? Why did he come?
Would you rather I hadn't?
Oh, it's harder for me.
How?
Well, what you feel is in your head.
Is it?
Like that thing you had on the wireless. You write it all down and it's there. I can't live like you do. I've got to take what I can get while it's there. When it's over, it's over.
You haven't thought of me then?
Your brother was here.
Blake?
Gave me a lift back from visiting. He's offered me a job in his yard.
It's his education I was thinking.
I don't see it's any of your concern.
Oh, it's not really. You're his father.
And I should start acting like one, is that what you mean?
It's not easy, I know that. With his mother in Germany on the wrong side of the barriers. Not to be removed in our lifetime, perhaps. It's not easy for Paolo to accept that. To hand the boy over to you, if that's what you want.
Well, things are bad at the yard. I mean, what can I offer him when I can see no future for me?
Well, things aren't too good in my yard either. Oh, not in the same sense, I know. Only that the foundations of the life I knew seem to be shaking rather violently at the moment. There's a school, rather a good one, where he could make a start with his English. I'd like your permission to send him there.
I can't say no to that, can I?
And will you hope to be re-elected when the next election's held?
I'd be lost if I weren't. It's all my life now.
Well, it's a pretty safe seat. It'd have to be a hell of a swing to the Tories.
What makes you think there's going to be an election?
Oh, come on. Attlee can't hang on much longer with that majority. Mind you, I don't blame him for trying. The government's damned unpopular now. All that mess up with Mossadegh in Persia. Kicking out the Anglo-Iranian Star.
I dare say you'd rather we sent a gunboat into Abadan.
Yes, he would.
We have to find a new place in the world. Forget the imperial past.
And then there's Clause 4 and the Union bloc vote.
The things we have to listen to keep faith with Peg and look after you.
They'd be in Wales by now.
Miss them.
It's like you and politics. They're all my life.
I hope you take Owen to see your father sometimes.
Well, Peg does. Why?
I wouldn't have thought you needed to ask why.
Well, he's hardly short on love and affection, is he? Young Emile calls him Popper.
He calls all men Popper. First he thought Paolo's brother was his father, then he was told it was Blake. He's making sure there's another round the corner for when Blake disappears.
Why this sudden consideration for father, anyway? Sudden fit of conscience?
That's a stupid thing to say about something you know nothing about.
Sorry.
Your father and I had a whole life together that you know nothing about.
I wasn't around to know about it, was I? I was away at school where he sent me.
That's the way things were done then.
Still are, my God.
Well, it's you that wants the status quo, Mark, not me. I've news for you about your father. I dare say it'll please you. He asked me how I felt about divorce.
He's a Catholic.
He hasn't been to Mass for weeks.
Thank you, Mason. Good night.
Did you see Blake?
Yes.
And did he agree?
Yes, he did.
Polling day will fall on Thursday, the 25th of October. The new Parliament will be summoned to meet on Wednesday, the 31st of October, when the first business will be the election of a Speaker and the swearing in of members. His Majesty has graciously announced his intention formally to open Parliament on Tuesday, the 6th of November. Good night.
You're back then?
Where have you been?
Hospital to see Dad. I stopped off at the club.
Some of this in the oven if you want it.
No, thanks.
Your bed's Ed.
Good.
I didn't think you'd come, but I heard it anyway.
You didn't think I'd come?
Do you mind switching the oven off? You don't want this.
Hang on a minute. You said you didn't think I'd come. Why?
Well, you slid out of Grandad's funeral. Why bother coming to see Dad?
What makes you think I slid out of Grandad's funeral?
You weren't there.
I wasn't there because me dad didn't tell me. He didn't want to get me from London for what he saw as a family duty. I haven't forgiven him yet.
Hope you didn't tell him that.
Oh, God, you seem to think you've got a prerogative of caring for the people I care for, too.
Don't use your school book words on me, Keir.
I haven't got many. The RAF re-educated me. I would have thought prerogatives more a word suited to the officer's mess.
And you didn't have to clean up in here either, just to prove to me the place was a tip.
I didn't like the idea of him coming back to it.
It was like it when he was here. That's how it's been.
What on earth's been going on?
Started after Mum. You weren't here, were you? We let things go. Life got us down, Keir.
It's not like Dad to get like that. I thought he'd throw himself into his Labour Party committee work, take his mind off things.
Yeah, well, he's not as keen as he was.
Why?
They told us they were going to build Jerusalem, didn't they?
Maybe he looked at what they built and decided he didn't like it.
Oh, where were you? Couldn't you have jollied him out of it?
I had 1 or 2 problems of my own, you know.
At the yard?
Among others.
I thought the economy's supposed to have taken a turn for the better. Festival of Britain, all that fun and frolic. There's a brand new war to keep the factories going.
Yeah, well, people aren't buying cars.
Well, how can you afford to offer Martha a job, then? You got fed up of your upper-class women, Blake. Thought you'd try a bit of rough.
Jack's dead, isn't he?
Yes. Get your cup of tea, love.
Treetops, pictures! Princess, treetops, pictures!
Coffee.
You didn't borrow that much.
Okay, take what I borrow. Are you working?
Not so as you'd notice.
I tell you some good stories last night, eh? You write what I tell you. How Great Britain bring back all them slaves from the West Indies here.
Don't start again.
I'm okay, I tell you. I got a good job. Kono, merchant seaman, first class.
Without a ship?
I get a ship. But them poor West Indian black boys, they don't get no ship. They just walking under the streets and in the sewers. In the sewers. And on the buses. And in the hospitals. Like slaves. They be working in the cotton fields. Only you don't have any cotton fields here, eh? Why you know write about them?
I can't.
Sure you can. I say the words, and you write them down on your machine.
Told you, Kono, it's an hot potato.
And your machine only handles cold potato, eh?
It does when I'm writing for this paper. They don't want to know about racialism. They want me to write what they want to read. Go on, sling your hook. I want to get ready.
Where are you going?
I'm going to London to see the Queen. Go in the Houses of Parliament.
Oh, dear, dear. In Nigeria, we have the House of Assembly and the House of Chiefs. All big fellows with flash rings. And we have white men, too. Only the little fellows, like you.
Well, we've got women. Mine's a woman, my MP.
Yeah.
She's got me a pass into the visitors' gallery so I can listen.
You better come into the Africa Club.
Well, I'd hear better speeches. Go on, up it.
And slave songs. Plenty of slave songs.
Out!
Hey.
What?
I'm going.
What time do you call this?
Am I late?
Ah, you're late. And you don't like people that don't turn up on time. Remember?
Oh, well, I put up with a lot in myself. I can't stand in other folk. Like sarcasm.
You all right? You're late. You're not usually late. I'm asking if you're all right.
Yes, I'm all right. I just walked here along the beach, that's all.
I only walk along the beach when I've something to think about. You tend to stop, don't you? And look out to sea. And the memories come rolling in. Something on your mind?
Just to know white Romans have got such big noses.
Eh?
It's something my dad used to say. Just to know white Romans have got such big noses.
I'm your boss. I'm entitled to be nosy.
You're entitled to a day's work and I'm entitled to a day's pay, and that's the end of it.
You want a favour? Some way of being so pleasant.
I do, as a matter of fact.
Oh, aye.
I bumped into Mary Fawcett yesterday. She says she's getting browned off working nights at the club. She's thinking of packing it in. I wondered if you'd ask your dad if there's any chance of me going back.
You've got a job. What do you want to work nights for?
I've got a part-time job. I've got to keep myself. And you don't pay much.
You don't do much. You don't do anything much.
I'm not complaining. I'm just saying that's the way things are.
All right. I'll have a word with him. I persuaded him to do an hour or two here now that he's lost his job.
What, your dad working here?
It's good enough for you, isn't it? I'll have a word with him.
Thanks. Haven't you got any work to do?
It won't be the end of the world if he wets you.
Oh, Mark, don't be silly. If your father doesn't want to pick him up, it doesn't matter.
What I do is just that I feel so powerless. Children at that age are omnipotent. They hold all the cards. They revel in their helplessness. One false move and the heavens open, and I'm just the man to make it. It was exactly the same with Mark and Roz.
And what was Mark like when he was that age?
Oh, much the same. The same wide, disarming stare, daring you to make a false move.
And hoping you'd make some move.
I was about to say it's hard to believe that a thing like that could grow into someone like Mark, but perhaps I'd better not. It might be misconstrued.
Serves you right.
Why do you always side with him?
Because he's always right.
Well, thank you very much.
Oh, no, you're going too far. She takes my side, Mark, because I happen to be an elderly gentleman who needs support. You can stand on your own 2 feet.
Try telling that to dear cousin Richard.
Oh, and what's happened?
Nothing. You don't happen to know where Mother hid the ice skates before she left, do you?
Ice skates? What ice skates?
Well, I thought it'd be good exercise for Peg, and there's plenty of ice on the high times. Where are they?
Oh, heaven knows. In the glory hole, I should imagine.
Now, I go now.
I'm sorry.
Oh, you mustn't be. What is it?
It's his job.
Oh, here, settle down.
Oh, I wish I could think so. He was exactly the same when he worked on the estate. He always felt people were watching him, checking on him. And Richard's just the same.
I thought he admired Richard. According to Mark, the richest of this world are going to put England back on its feet again.
Oh, he still admires him. Suppose that makes it worse. Richard won't trust him. He won't give him any real responsibility. He came home last night, he'd taken this idea to Richard. He knew it was a good idea, and it was. Mark's good at estate management. Anyway, Richard just picked holes in it. Mark pretended it didn't matter, but I could see he was hurt. Terribly hurt.
Well, I'll have a word with Richard, but we must remember that Richard is a very astute businessman. He's made a great success of that mining company. And it may be that he saw flaws in the idea that Mark, in his eagerness...
You don't think Mark's up to it, do you?
No, I didn't say that. You're putting words in my mouth.
I love Mark.
I know you do.
I wouldn't have married him if I hadn't have loved him. And what they say about being blind to people's faults when you love them, well, it's just not true. I know Mark better than anyone knows him.
Better than he knows himself?
Oh, much better. He pretends he hasn't any ambition, but that's just to cover himself in case things go wrong. He wants to be a success. For me, for Owen.
And he hasn't found his rightful place in the world?
No.
Well, then, we must help him find it.
Yes.
Dare I?
Go on.
Well, why not? Screw your courage to the sticking place. There now.
Now then, who's that? Is that your grandpa? Give Grandpa a big kiss.
Well, we Warringtons aren't very good at kissing each other, I'm pleased to say. Anyway, not the men.
Oh. I found the skates.
And I found some courage.
Roz want hers, do you think?
Oh, I shouldn't think so. She never asked about them.
They're maybe a bit on the big side, but still.
Oh, don't you think we should ask her?
Oh, when we see her, we will.
Ah.
Oh, I'm sorry, I did not know you were here.
No, we're just going.
Oh, du schönes Pupchen. Oh, du liebst dein Großvater, ja. Oh, he's so beautiful.
No, not at 2 o'clock in the morning, he isn't.
Oh, dear. Are you staying for lunch?
No, really, we're just going.
No, we'll get off.
Oh, please, not for me.
Oops.
Here's the book I promised you.
Oh, thank you. The Führer. Hitler's Rise to Power. Conrad Haydn? I don't know him.
Oh, he might help you to better understand the complicated Germans. Well, I'll be seeing you again. Lunch at 1?
Yes, fine.
Yes. She had the run of the house.
Oh, she's not a servant. Should I treat her as one?
Well, I thought she was here to look after the boy. The boy isn't here any longer.
Well, the boy's away at school. He hasn't disappeared from the face of the earth. She needs someone to come back to, just as you did. And Paula needs someone to stay, too.
You know, Father, for a country gentleman, there are times when you're remarkably naive.
Well, I've never considered myself a country gentleman, and I don't count naivety among the deadly sins.
No, that's your funeral. Come on.
Oh, did Mark tell you we had a letter from his mother?
How is she?
Well, you've been here, you know I didn't.
Oh, she's fine. She's seen Ark here. She's arranging for him to go to the visitors' gallery, I think.
I'll start the car.
It's all right.
Hello. You found me?
Yes, it wasn't as bad as I thought. I kept asking people. I wasn't sure they'd understand me.
They used to all of us down here. Therefore is the name of it called Babel, because the Lord did there confound the language of all the earth.
You know the Bible, do you?
Think it was in the index, did you? Prescribed reading.
Thanks for organising this for me.
Oh, your piece in last week's Tribune was very impressive.
I know about the steel industry. But then, so do you.
Well, we approached it from different ends, as it were.
From top to bottom. We should get together. You give me your secrets, I'll give you mine.
Sounds like a good idea. like what you see?
Yes, I do. There are some that would tear it all down and govern country from a council house, but I wouldn't. You can almost smell it in here, can't you? Touch it.
History.
All the great decisions, all the monumental mistakes. Yeah, I suppose you're right. History.
It's still being made. There'll be a bit more today.
I believe you've laid on something good for me.
Once you get through Scottish question time, you'll be in clear water.
Foreign affairs. Europe?
Persia, the Korean situation, and the canal zone.
I'll hear the big wigs then.
Churchill, Eden Attlee, Bevan.
Beth Warrington?
Not unless she's provoked. She might shout a little.
I'll listen out for you.
Well, we better go. Shall we meet back here, say 5:30?
Yeah.
You can give me your views on the standard of debate. Your unbiased views.
This is no sort of job for a fella.
It's keeping you off the streets.
I'd rather be on the streets than washing flaming cars. It's a skivvy's job, is this?
All right, go home. Burn your knees in front of the fire.
We've got something more useful I can be doing.
The carburettor in there. Fancy stripping it down?
You know I know naught about engines, so don't be so funny.
This isn't an ironworks, Dad. I can't conjure your old job out of thin air.
No, you can't throw a man out of his job when he's got years of useful work in him either.
Don't blame me because you lost your job. If John Warrington had been nationalised, you'd have had it back the minute you got out of hospital.
Happen or would, happen or wouldn't.
You know damn well you would. That's the trouble with you lot. You don't just get rid of the bad bosses, you get rid of the good ones and all. And you're paying for it.
And you're not making things any better. Carrying on like a flaming capitalist.
I wish it was. Look, I've got something to ask you about Martha.
What about her?
Well, you know she used to work at the club.
Yeah, of course I do.
Well, she wants her old job back, nights. Can you put a word in?
Well, would you want me to?
There's no skin off my nose.
You've got your eye on her, haven't you?
Can you put a word in, or can't you?
Yes, of course I can. Even skivvies have their uses.
Can I help? I'm John Warrington.
Yes, I know. I'm actually looking for Miss Paula Brandt. She lives here, I believe. Is that correct?
Yes, she does.
Do you know where I might find her?
Well, I don't exactly know where she is at the moment. Would you like to come in?
Thank you, Mr. Warrington.
Would you like to sit down, Mr.
Vickers.
I'm not altogether sure that Miss Brandt is in the house. She has a habit of wandering off down to the village when she suddenly remembers some shopping she has to do. Can I help at all?
No.
But I better go and see where she is. Would you like something to drink? Tea or coffee?
No, thank you.
Something stronger, perhaps, if it's not too early.
No, thank you.
But I'll go and see where she is. I thought you might have gone into the village.
Do you want me for something?
Someone does. You have a visitor.
A visitor?
Mr. Vickers.
Mr. Vickers? I don't know anybody called Vickers.
He's in the drawing room.
Are you coming?
I got the impression he'd like to see you in private. I'll be here if you want me.
Mr. Vickers?
Yes.
Have we met?
No, we haven't met, Fräulein.
I thought I did not recognize your name. Please, sit down.
I'm here on very personal business. I'm sure you'd wish it to be kept private.
You sound very mysterious, Mr. Vickers.
There's no reason why I should be, Fraulein.
Oh, thank you. Do you have something to do with the government?
I'm here as an investigator, Fraulein. I'd like to ask you some questions, and I'd appreciate full and frank answers.
I have nothing to hide.
And I'm sure my visit will be a short one. Your full name is Paula Maria Brandt.
Yes.
Immediately before entering this country, you lived at Bayerickerstrasse 15, Düsseldorf. Before that, you were resident at Seehausenstrasse, Arensee in Altmark.
Yes.
In the eastern zone.
Yes.
On the 14th of May, 1950, you travelled to East Berlin, and later the same day, in the company of a small boy, you crossed into the western zone. Is that correct?
Yes.
The boy was your nephew, Emil Brandt, your brother's son.
No, the boy was Emil Brandt, yes. But he was the son of an English soldier. Blake Haywood, he lives near here. I brought the boy to see his father.
I see. When you crossed into the western zone, why were you travelling on the papers of Hertha Brandt?
It was easier for me to leave the East as the boy's mother.
And easier for Hertha Brandt, your sister-in-law, to continue to live in East Germany with your papers?
Yes.
Why?
My brother is a political prisoner. She wishes to stay with him. It might be bad for her as his wife.
So that's why she didn't bring the boy herself?
Yes.
Because she wished to stay with her husband?
Yes.
Are you expecting her to come now that your brother is dead? I'm sorry, Fraulein. I was sure you'd know. I am sorry. Is there anything I can get you?
I did not know this. It's not safe to write letters. Sometimes I think he's dead.
I'm sorry to say, according to our information, he died in prison 2 weeks ago, on the 22nd of January. I really am sorry, Fraulein, particularly as you've been so frank. Just 1 or 2 more questions, and I won't bother you any further. Before you came to this country, you were, I think I'm correct in saying, a member of the Mitteldeutsche Communist Party.
Communist Party?
The Communist Party.
Yes, at university in Goslar, we were against the Nazis, against Hitler.
But you never actively resigned?
No, why?
You attended several Communist Party meetings in Arensee in 1945-6.
Yes. I go to meetings. 1, maybe 2 only. There was talk that the Nazis would rise again.
But you've had no affiliations, links with the Communist Party since that time. Is that what you say?
Yes, I have no links.
I see. Fraulein, you're in this country as a registered alien. As such, don't let this worry you unduly, but as such, you're in a vulnerable position. I strongly suggest that while you're in Britain, you make no political affiliations whatsoever. You do understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
And one more thing. Your conduct so far has been exemplary. You've reported when necessary, carried out all our requirements. I'd like you to carry on doing so. And I'd like to ask a favour. If ever you hear that your sister-in-law has entered, or is about to enter this country, will you inform me?
Won't you know?
Not necessarily. you.
How, therefore, does he propose to invoke international discussion in order that there shall be international defence of the canal zone, and not bring British troops alone into collision with the Egyptian civil population?
I think the best way to handle this affair in the first instance is between ourselves and the Egyptians, because it is on the basis of the Anglo-Egyptian treaty that our forces are in the canal zone. Of course, I accept, and have always accepted, that the 1936 treaty can be and should be replaced by some further agreement. And that further agreement should be, I hope will be, upon an international basis.
Now, this is an exceedingly important matter, and all I want to do is to elicit the facts at this stage, so that we can have an intelligent discussion on it later on. The right honourable gentleman on the one side says, and everybody I think agrees with him, that this is an international obligation. But then he at once proceeds, as far as I can see, to the only practical steps on a unilateral basis.
It wasn't entirely unexpected.
No. No, he was not strong. He had Entzündung der Luftröhrenmaste in the chest.
Bronchitis?
Bronchitis, yes. Must have been terrible for him in prison.
Is that all this man Vickers came to tell you? That Helmut had died?
No. No, he said that I must speak to him if Hertha comes to England.
Hertha? Do they suspect her politically?
I don't know. Perhaps.
But as far as you're concerned, there's no trouble. Nothing.
No.
Good. Because I want you to have a happy life here. If there's anything I can do.
I know.
Well, what do you think?
Very instructive. I like the Scottish questions. Gave me an idea what you've all got to put up with. Saw you doing your shouting.
At Eden? Oh, well.
I got the impression him and Bevan don't get on too well.
I shouldn't think they understood each other too well.
Well, you've certainly got all kinds in there. What's it like being on the wrong side after being on the right?
Frustrating. Oh, I believe in debate, but I like to be on the side that I know is going to win. I suppose I've been spoiled.
We'll get you there again.
As soon as possible, please. Look, would you like to complete the Royal Tour tomorrow?
Tomorrow? I'm all right till 6. I'm on a turnstile at the furniture exhibition, earning a few bob until I'm Britain's premier political journalist.
Well, I meant during the day. I could get away, meet you here, say, about 11.
If I'm not being a nuisance.
When you're Britain's premier political journalist, I shall use you, mercilessly.
It's a deal.
I think he's infatuated.
Well, she's a very beautiful woman.
Is that all it takes?
When you get to your father's age, you don't waste time with political debate. Whereas at my age, there's time for everything.
Someone might see. Are you taking me out to dinner?
I might. Where would you like to go?
Somewhere nice. And I'd like to see Daddy, too. I haven't spoken to him for a week.
All right, we'll go to Eskdale. Call at Lake House on the way.
Half an hour?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, sir. The project you asked for on the West Sea, you said you wanted it as soon as possible.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Armitage.
Half an hour.
Hmm? Oh, yes, yes, fine, darling.
Mr. Hayward!
Yeah, what do you want?
Not you, the other one.
How long's it going to be Mr. Hayward, eh?
As long as I'm working for you.
Hello, Blake Hayward.
Ah, John Warrington.
Oh, hello, Mr. Warrington.
I have a proposition to put to you. I wonder if you could find time to come over to Lake House and talk about it.
Well, certainly, yeah. Well, now's as good a time as any if it suits you.
Good. I'll expect you in about an hour.
Right.
Goodbye.
I'm nipping over to Lake House to see John Warrington. Nothing but the best, eh?
It's about Mere Wood. According to Roberts, there's some good timber there. It'll fetch a good price if I can get it down to the sawmill. How do you feel about doing a little log hauling?
Log hauling?
Yes.
Well, I'd need a lorry and some block and tackle, nothing special. I could pick it up second hand. Could you see a way to giving me an advance on the contract?
I don't see why not. I'm still in the thinking stage, but I think perhaps we ought to help each other as much as possible. But in principle, you're agreeable.
Ah, certainly.
Good, come in. Hello, come on in. I'm just doing a little business with Mr. Hayward. Oh, no, don't go. Nothing private about it. I'm thinking of cutting down Mere Wood, and hopefully Blake is going to do the log hauling for me. I won't be desecrating the countryside, will I?
Things change.
Probably flush out a few birds.
You'll probably flush out a few fellas and all.
Oh, courting couple territory, is it? Well, I mustn't worry. They're not supposed to be there.
It never stopped me.
Really? Oh, don't go, Blake. Miss Brown would like to have a word with you. I'll go and fetch her. Now, don't you rush away. I never see you these days. Oh, do you know Richard Warrington? Blake Hayward? Peg's brother.
Aye, we met briefly. I had a look at one of your cars one time.
You did indeed. I was going to put some more business your way, but why should I now that I have Roz and her mechanical mind?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, why bother with me when you can afford the best?
I think we'd better go. Hello, Blake.
Oh.
How are you?
Oh, I'm fine, thanks. How's Emil?
Oh, he's very well and happy.
How's he doing with his schoolwork?
Very well, too. He's a clever little boy.
He must get it from his mother.
Blake, my brother is dead. Emil has no other brother now but you.
You've heard from Herta?
No, I do not know where she is.
But there's nothing to keep her in the east now.
No. There's nothing to keep her there.
Yeah, sounds great. I'll see you in about 3 months. Thanks. Morning.
Hello.
Dad's not coming in today, but he said he wants to see you at the club at dinner time. I'll give you a lift down if you like.
Oh, thanks, that'd be nice. Did he have a word about me, did he say?
All he said was he wanted to see you. I'm not getting involved. I don't want blaming if things go wrong. On the other hand, if things go right,
Thanks anyway.
and that's as much as I'm getting.
What more do you want?
I'll give you a shout when I'm ready. No, I have nothing concrete, merely a feeling in my bones that my namesake at Lake House is more than a little unsettled. Well, tell him you've heard a rumour that the house may be coming on the market, and if it does, you have a potential buyer. Jolly him along a bit. Oh, and while you're at it, put out a confidential feeler with the council. Find out if we'd have a free run to develop Lake House as a hotel. Well, make sure your best is good enough. If the house does come on the market and I don't get it, I'll be very annoyed with you. Call me back when you've got something.
Come in.
Busy?
Darling, not now you're here.
Oh, the Pollocks have asked us for dinner tonight. Edna said she's sorry it's such short notice, but she forgot to ring me. I think they've been let down. Anyway.
Well, do you want to go?
No, I'm easy. They're my friends, but it doesn't matter.
Pollard, yes, of course we'll go. He's the man who owns half Bridekirk, isn't he? He could be useful.
Is that your only criterion for friendship? Usefulness?
Or would you rather I applied yours? Sex?
Please don't start again.
Roz. What did you see in him? What was it? Tallulah Bankhead and the Stoker? Did you fall for a bit of muscle?
Blake Hayward and I were friends. Good friends.
Very good friends.
Yes, very good friends, and it's over. Why do I have to keep repeating myself?
Darling, I'm merely trying to clear the air.
The air's cleared.
Good. Don't let it start again.
I have no intention of letting it start again. And I shouldn't think he has either.
I give you a job. I try to get you another one. And I don't even rate a kiss.
Didn't think you bothered with the likes of me. I thought you were only bothered with ladies.
Ladies amuse me. I mean, every kid likes a toy to play with.
Who was the toy? You or her?
Why do I waste my time with you, eh?
Because I'm here?
You're not the only one. I'm here too. Here. A foot away. In Whitstanton. Not London. You still carrying a torch for our care?
I don't carry torches. I get on with living.
You could have fooled me.
What, declared war on Carlisle, have we, Dad?
King's dead. They just give it out at Wallace.
When?
This morning. They've just give it out.
Well, love. George ain't got long for this world. Last picture I saw of him.
Yeah, well, he's out of it now.
This thing working?
Oh, there's nought on. They just give it out and that was the end of it.
Well, we've got a queen then.
Yes, we've got a queen. Here, put that halfway up pole for us, will you?
Hope I can remember how. It's a long time since I was in the Boy Scouts.
It's the broad white stripe at the top. Sit down, love. Can you start tonight?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they've had a bit of a rise since you left, bar staff. It'll be 5 bob more than you were getting last time. That suit you?
That's lovely.
What's the matter, love? Can't you take good news?
Well, there hasn't been much.
Yeah, I know how you feel. Look, would you like a brandy? I can manage a small one without them noticing.
No, thanks. I shall have to watch you.
You'll have your hands full. Tonight, then, 7 o'clock.
I'll be here. And thanks.
Oh, that's not. Why did I rear such a daft lad?
Oh, he's all right. He gave me a job. And you.
No, I don't mean him. I mean t'other one.
Great Tom at St. Paul's. You don't want to hear that too often. Well, I can't say, I'm afraid. There's an announcement at 2:30. Sorry we had to rush lunch.
That's all right.
Well, I must dash. Keep in touch.
I will.
I'd like to meet your Nigerian friend.
I'll tell him.
Mr. Speaker, the House will have learned with deep sorrow of the death of His Majesty King George VI. We cannot, at this moment, do more than record a spontaneous expression of our grief. The Accession Council will meet at 5 o'clock this evening, and I now ask you, sir, to guide the House as to our duties.
You going a week Saturday?
Where?
Well, to watch town, of course. Where else do you go on Saturdays?
Who they playing?
He knows now, does he? They're playing York. Second leg, first round.
League Cup, what we're going to win.
Won't be worth going. Town will murder him.
I should hope so and all. We beat them 18-7 on their midden.
Well, I'm going. Are you coming, George?
Aye, if I'm still breathing. What about you?
Aye, all right. Be a fair crowd, though. We'll go in the enclosure.
Well, not you know. Well, for Delaford, the enclosure. We're going up popular side. One on a tenant's enough for me.
Go on, you can spring another bob.
But look at him. Look, I'm a steelman, mate. I don't work in no mine office. Don't know where we are 2 minutes together, do we, George?
Hey, don't drag me into it. I work for him now.
Yeah, well, you're well out of it. We don't know who us bosses are 2 minutes together. On top of that, we've got Nat to work with. You lot can't dig out enough hematite. There's no coming in through Workington docks.
You'll get over it.
I wouldn't bet on it. They closed number 3 blast furnace down last back end. They'll do the same again, sure as God made little apples.
Your Jacob is spinning in his grave. It's the same everywhere, for all Conservatives are going to change the world.
Give them a chance. They're going to be in 5 minutes.
Hello, boss has been getting at you, have they?
You didn't seem to be worried about your Jack.
Hey?
Me dad, he said your Jack would be spinning in his grave. You didn't seem to be worried about what he was doing.
He's dead and gone.
Yeah, but he's up there though, isn't he? Watching.
If I thought that, I'd never leave the house.
Oh, you must believe in something.
I believe he's dead. I know he's dead. And I know I'm living, and that's enough to be going on with.
Fill that up for us. Yeah.
You paying for that?
After all I said about myself.
Couldn't go out and win a pack of cards, could you?
Why I do that? If we get new cards, I can't tell what you got. 15-2, 15-4, 15-6, and 2 is 8.
16 without a 15.
Oh, no.
I want 2. And there they are, just.
You want to play again?
Yeah, in a minute. I'll just brew up. What made you go in the Merchant Navy?
Money. Lovely money.
Is your father a seaman?
No, not seaman, fisherman. On the Delta to Pobo Town. He wants his sons to be fishermen, but we say no.
Oh, you've got brothers.
Yes, I had 2 brothers. They joined the Nigerian Rifles when they were young fella. But I am man of peace. When I was 15, I went to Enugu to work in the mines. But it is not good there. Then I went to Port Harcourt, want to be steward in White Coat for Elder Dempster Lines. But they say no. they give me deckhand job for United Africa Company. We sail from Burutu port. Also, in tankers from Galveston to Liverpool, in big convoy. From Burutu, we take cocoa and palm oil, biniseed and rubber.
Firewood, ironware, and cheap tin trays.
Iron, yes, but no trays. Wood, plenty wood from Sapele. It is a good life.
When you've got a ship.
Hey.
Isn't it marvellous? Here's me, thinks he knows everything. I've been to Whitstanton, London, an airfield in Canada, 2 in East Anglia, and the sky over Germany once or twice. You've been everywhere.
There's good, there's bad. Here is good. Play crib, drink with friends, go to Africa Club. If I get a ship, okay. No ship, I wait. You want to play again?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. I win 3, you win 2. You owe me threepence.
Here, I hope it chokes you.
I think I go to Soho, get me a woman.
I hope she chokes you.
You got a woman?
I shouldn't think so. Not for a minute.
Pull us up on him there, will you, lovey?
Oh, give us a chance to draw breath, Mr. Morris.
Oh, we're drinking the health of our new queen.
Oh, well, that'll make her very happy.
You're my queen, aren't you, lovey?
Soft.
This man annoying you?
Oh, she's a belter, isn't she?
She is that.
Give us your money.
Queen Elizabeth. God bless her.
I'll drive you home tonight.
Oh, who says?
I say. I want you at work tomorrow morning and don't you molest her.
By anybody else?
Will Herta come to England?
To see Blake Hayward?
To see her son?
Perhaps. Perhaps to see them both. German women have a great loyalty to whoever needs that loyalty. Herta was loyal to Helmut. Now he is gone. She will be loyal to Emil and to Blake.
Is that a national characteristic? Are all German women so loyal?
Yes. If they feel they are really needed. I did not tell you everything about this man Vickers. During the war at university in Goslar, I was a communist. We were against the Nazis, against Hitler. We knew he was wrong. This man Vickers, he knows this, and he tells me he reminds me, yes. Then it was good to be a communist. Now it is bad.
Are you still a communist?
No. No, I have no politics now. There is no Hitler now. I tell him this, but I don't think he believes me. He says I must be careful.
You're vulnerable. You realize that?
He uses this word too, but I'm not sure.
It means you're not protected. You're in a weak position.
Yes. Yes, I am an alien. This I know.
There are ways of protecting yourself.
I am also a survivor. This word I know, survivor. I've lived with the Russian soldiers. And if you live with the Russian soldiers and you keep your dignity, then you are a survivor.
It seems that nowadays all over the world there are Russian soldiers. People who want to take away your dignity. I don't know how much this man Vickers said, how much he frightened you.
He did not frighten me.
He's from the government. A British government, perhaps, but any government can be cruel.
But you have been kind to me.
I hope I always will be.
No, not here.
Where then?
I didn't mean that. I meant the neighbours will see.
Let me come in.
No.
Why not? Give me one good reason.
I don't
why
have
not.
to give you reasons.
Your Jack's not watching. Nobody else cares.
What do you think you're doing?
I'm all right.
All right. Look at you.
Come on, ball back, please, mister.
Yeah. And no more loose passing.
You're not a kid anymore, you know. Remember that. Look, stay where you are for a minute.
I'm all right. Enjoyed it.
Good. You can walk by the side of your hearse at the funeral.
Stop your fussing. You're worse than your mother was.
Yeah?
Yeah?
Couple of pints, love, please.
You're not going to London dressed like that, are you?
Of course I am. What's wrong with me?
Well, if you don't know, I'm not going to tell you.
Go on, ask anybody. They'll all tell you the same. Johnny Lawrenson scored a try in every round.
Look, I'm telling you, he never scored against St Helens.
And I'm telling you, he did. Go on, put your money down. Put $50 on that bar top. Here's George, he'll tell you. Hey, George.
Yeah, hang on.
Tell this fellow.
Give us a brandy, will you, Martha?
What's the matter?
Sit yourself down.
Oh, it's him. Does more clucking than a mother hen.
Here, get that down.
Shall I talk to him now?
You can do with the bloody hell you like with him. What should I care?
Hey, George, tell this fellow, will you? Did Johnny Lawrenson score a try against St Helens in second round?
Yeah, of course he did, and he kicked 3 goals and all.
There you go. So he scored a try in every round, didn't he?
Yeah, and he scored two against York.
See?
I never bet you.
Oh, no, you never bet me. You're too flaming careful.
How you feeling?
Oh, I'm all right, love. Just a bit short of puff, that's all.
He's mad at you.
Oh, he's mad at everyone these days. Has it got out to do with you, has it?
Me? Why should I have out to do with me?
Oh, I just thought, perhaps with you stopping work at the garage. I'll tell you something about Blake. When him and Keir were kids, if Keir had a new railway engine, a cricket bat, or box of soldiers, Blake would want it. Whatever Keir got, Blake had to have.
I'm nobody's toy, Mr. Im.
Oh, you remind me a lot of my wife, God rest her soul.
Do you want another one of those?
What, on your wages?
Who's counting? Anyway, I can manage a small one without them noticing.
Hey, you're learning.
I never stop.
May I say how kind it was of you to indulge an old man's whim and struggle into a dinner jacket. I do enjoy a little formality, and goodness, there's not much left.
Well, thank you for giving me the opportunity. I enjoy it. Our sartorial answer to the libevans of this world.
Really?
Vive la différence.
Vive la différence.
Not joining us, my dear, and looking so beautiful?
I dressed to please my host, not to show the not difference. There's another word for it.
Distinction.
Your father is a very clever man. The distinction between the rich and the poor. Daddy, you're sheltering a Marxist under your roof.
Oh, I don't think so. Richard, would you have some more port?
Thank you.
That's a beautiful dress. Oh, you like it?
Yes.
I bought it in Keswick. Keswick? Good Lord, one up for Keswick.
You both look delicious.
You know I do envy you this house, John.
Yes, I know. You're not the only one.
Really?
I had Martin Soulsby, the estate agent, on the telephone. He asked me to let him know if the house ever came onto the market. Apparently he's got a buyer already with checkbook and hot little hand.
Martin Soulsby. He does work for you, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. Well, John, you must add me to your list.
Well, yes, I will, although...
Oh, it's much too big for you, Daddy, now that you're on your own.
Yes, I suppose it is, now that I'm on my own. Well, the same applies equally to Richard.
Not for long, I'm pleased to say.
Oh?
Opportune?
I think so.
I'm delighted to be able to announce that having come to my senses and proposed to Roz, she has taken leave of hers and accepted me.
No.
My apologies, John. There should have been an earlier scene featuring just the two of us and a pair of Havanas. But as you so often say, we're not Victorians. And in any event, you might have raised some objection, and that wouldn't have suited my book at all.
Objection! I'm delighted. How on earth do you keep it to yourselves all through dinner?
Richard's teaching me self-discipline. And don't I get a kiss?
Every happiness, my love.
I'm sure you will be very happy.
To Richard and Roz.
To Richard and Roz.
Why don't we take our drinks into the drawing room? Come along, you two.
How did you buy that dress? And where'd you get the money from?
Your father, I expect.
Daddy.
My dear, some men prefer to buy paintings, others prefer looking at beautiful women. Both can be expensive. Come on, Roz, enough of these double standards. Had it been anyone else but your father, you'd have applauded heartily.
What time you got?
10 o'clock.
You say she come at 9.
I said she'd try and come at 9. These MPs don't work office hours, you know. It's not a 9 to 5 job. She's probably got a late sitting.
Maybe she don't want to come and meet me.
Yeah, that'll be it. She probably thinks you're a bogeyman.
Don't you make fun of me, white man.
How do you get on with white women?
How you mean?
Well, when you pass them in the street, do you notice anything? Are they frightened?
I tell you one thing. I sure am damn frightened of them.
Oh, I am sorry.
It's all right.
Hello.
Hello, ma'am. Please sit down.
Thank you.
A drink?
Oh, lovely. It's been a long, long day.
I hope you like whiskey. It's all we've got.
With water, please. I didn't think I was going to find you, but it was remarkably easy. Kia tells me that you have a very interesting theory of immigration.
Oh, Kono doesn't call it immigration. Do you, Kono?
No. Slave trade.
Oh? Who are the slavers?
We are. Brace yourself.
Thank you for a lovely evening.
You're not going.
I am, if you will excuse me.
No, I won't. I'd like you to stay for a little while. Please?
Well, I'm very tired, but for a little while.
A drink?
Oh, no, thank you.
When that man came from Special Branch, when he told you what he had to tell you, asked you the questions he had to ask.
I have forgotten what he said.
Oh, yes, so have I, except for one thing. He said you were vulnerable. And of course he was right.
Is there something wrong?
Oh, no. Just the opposite. No, you've looked after my house wonderfully. You've cared for your nephew as if he were your own son.
Emil is at boarding school. There's no difficulty.
Oh, yes, but there is. You're constantly at war with Blake Hayward. He's the boy's father. He wants one thing for the child, and you want another.
It is best the way that things are.
Oh, yes, but it doesn't make your life any easier. Nor does your status here. You came to this country as an alien.
That is not a nice word.
No. Oh, you've behaved impeccably. Your work permit has been issued whenever it was necessary. But the vulnerability remains. At any moment, they could revoke that permit and send you back to Germany for very little reason.
And I would go.
I don't want you to go. This is all wrong. My timing is abominable. We should be outside under the moon and the stars in the warm night air. But it's raining. And rain tends to weaken my resolution, and I don't want my resolution to weaken. Will you marry me?
You cannot expect me to answer you now.
No. I've climbed a mountain merely asking you. I'm much too exhausted to deal with an answer. But I would like you to think about it most seriously. I love you.
Of course I will think about it. You have given me a great honor. And it must have been difficult for you just now.
Yes. I thought of waiting, but I was frightened. Frightened that whilst I was waiting, something might happen to take you away from me. But I do want you to know what my feelings are. I want you to know that from the moment I'm free, from that very moment, I want you for my wife.
And now I will never sleep.
I've only got condensed milk, I'm afraid.
Oh, then I'll have it black. You were saying?
No, I say I had two brothers. Nigerian rifles. Olu was killed during the war in Burma. The other one, he sat with his big behind, holding rifle, guarding the refinery at Lagos. Only nobody come. When the war finished, he be big man. He want big house, women, new boat, everything.
The brave new world.
And I say, here the same. When British Army soldier come back, he don't want dirty jobs, little jobs. He want big house, like Nigerian rifle. He want woman, nice job behind desk in office. And when the bosses said to him, now go back and work on the buses, down the sewers, in the hospitals.
He's obsessed with
No,
sewers.
this is serious business, man. When the bosses say this, British Army soldiers say no. Don't want to go and drive bus. Don't want to go down the sewers. Don't want to scrub in hospital. So what they do, these government fellows, they go to Kingston, Jamaica, and they bring all the slaves back here for the hospital and the sewers and the buses and all the dirty jobs.
It's an interesting theory.
The more I hear it, the better it sounds.
But surely it was to everyone's advantage. There was no work for them back home.
All right, take it a bit further. At the moment, it's fine. There's jobs for everybody. Well, nearly. But what happens when bad times hit us again and jobs are scarce? What happens to the immigrants then?
Slaves.
All right, what happens to the immigrant slaves then? When the white man wants his job back on the buses, in the hospitals, down the sewers? It'll happen. It will happen. And when it does, it's people with faces like his who are going to be filling the dole queues. They were made a lot of promises, and what have they got? Lousy weather, no job in a country where 9 out of 10 of the natives hate the bloody sight of it.
It's not that bad. 8 out of 10.
Oh, I think you're being unnecessarily alarmist.
I am, but that's my job. I want political reform. If you shout fire, somebody will come and get your head out of the railings.
What do you want me to do?
Well, if we thought that somebody in Parliament was keeping an eye on it, if we thought that you were saying what you've heard tonight to some of your mates in that big house on the river, we'd say that was worth a cup of coffee and a glass of whiskey.
All right, I'll do that.
Hear that? You've influenced the course of British history.
Thank you. Now all I have to do is get a ship.
Well, I must go. I'm driving up north tomorrow. Do you want a lift by any chance?
No, I'll be a good lad and put all this on paper for you.
Oh, marvellous. A few statistics. A breakdown of employment in the sewers.
Right, you're on. What are you driving down there for tomorrow? They'll all be down here for the cup final.
I know, don't rub it in. I was offered a seat weeks ago and I turned it down. I'm committed to this surgery.
It'll be a ghost town. Didn't, what's his name, say anything? Your agent. He's a big town supporter.
He is ill.
Oh, he's on his way down here with your ticket in his pocket.
Well, I wouldn't blame him. Well, it has been very instructive, thank you.
Anytime, ma'am, and thank you.
Any messages?
Yeah, if he doesn't come down to tell me himself, will you say hello to my dad for me?
I'll do that.
See ya.
Got your puff back, Dad.
I'll race you on.
Time, please. Can I have your glasses?
How's that for service?
Thank you.
You know, you remind me of a woman who used to work here. Used to work for me, come to think of it. Dark hair, flashing eyes. She had a bit more life to her than you, though. Anyway, it was this night, a couple of months back, I took her home. And I mean home, you know. Inside, upstairs, the lot. Now, you're not going to believe this. Since then, nothing. What you reckon, huh? She just wanted me body. The minute I walked out the next day, she choked me up and that was it.
Happened she made a mistake. Women often do.
I'll tell you what, though. She enjoyed it. Think I should try again tonight.
It's not really worth it if she only wants your body, is it? I mean, you're off in the early hours, aren't you?
That's what I mean. Hardly worth me going home, is it? What do you think she'd say if I asked her?
I reckon if she said no every night for the last 2 months, she's going to say no again. I know I would.
Are you coming home, Dad?
No, I'll walk down with Willie.
Can I have your glasses, please? Get off home, love. I'll see to this. Come on. Good night.
Good night, love.
Thanks a lot. Behave yourself.
I'll catch you up.
You all right?
Are you? That's more the point.
Oh, yeah, I'd take a lot of putting down.
Well, you're not going to get much sleep, are you, if you're off at 2 o'clock?
Well, tell you the truth, I'm not all that struck. I never was one for riding on shadows. I'd like to have seen our Kia. Better still, I'd like to get him back here for good.
Tell him.
There's only one thing that'll fetch that lad back, and that's what got shut of him in the first place. Have you ever been to London?
No.
You fancy a trip?
2 o'clock?
You can sleep on Sharrow.
What, to see the sights, you mean?
Well, there's your Sharrow ticket, and that's where our Kia's living. Fetch him back.
Where's your dad?
Oh, he's not coming.
Not coming?
No, I wasn't feeling so good.
Oh, what a shame.
For the best.
Come on, lads,
Yeah.
get a move on. Right. Hey, surprise for you on back seat.
Well, well. What are you doing here?
I'm allowed, aren't I?
I'm going to sit next to you.
Yeah, if you keep your hands to yourself.
You're not going to match, are you?
No. Your dad gave me a Sharrow ticket.
So that's where it went. I've got his match ticket. You sure don't want to come?
No. I've got other things to do.
Anybody I know?
No, I don't think so. It's a girl I used to go to school with. She married a soldier from Chelsea Barracks.
Very nice.
Right, here we go. All together, lads. And John Bill will talk so reindeer can
They haven't got the Lagos Times?
Sold out.
Hey, what we do today? What you say we go up to the West End, to Joe Lyons' Corner House, have egg and chips, and then go to the cinema?
No, I don't think so. I'll stop here. My dad might come.
But you don't write no letter.
He doesn't write letters, my dad. He's quite capable of coming 300 miles on spec.
On spec?
Hoping I'll be in.
Oh, sure. I do that too sometimes. Once I take a ship from Sydney, Australia, all the way to Sao Paulo in Brazil to meet a woman.
And she was out.
No, she was in, so was her new husband.
Bad luck.
No bad luck. He only little fella. Cumbrians invade the capital. Hey, that's you, Cumbrians.
Yeah, from Cumberland.
And today, London chock full of fellows like you?
Yeah.
I think I'll stay at home.
I wish you would let me get on with some work.
10,000 West Cumbrians travel through the night in 100 motor coaches and 10 special trains to cheer on Whitstanton in their Rugby Cup final clash with Featherstone Rovers. Featherstone Rovers? What sort of place Featherstone Rovers?
It's in Yorkshire. They're foreigners.
I think they're going to lose. I don't like foreigners.
I don't like fellas who sit around reading my paper when I've got work to do.
Okay, I go. Skate and chips, 12:30, okay?
Fine, get out.
Hey, Kia.
What?
I go.
Somebody been talking about me, have they? Oh, you needn't bother to answer. I know what's said. I'm not going to waste my breath arguing about it. I don't know what he sees in you. If it's part of his life that's naught to do with me, you can stop away for all I care, just so long as he knows where he stands. You're of no interest to me, people like you. You just like telling other people how to behave. Well, put your money where your mouth is, Keir. It's up to you.
George Haywards' lad lives down here somewhere.
He's welcome. I wouldn't live in this place for a gold clock.
Yes, I've seen quite a lot of him. As a matter of fact, I was out at Earl's Court last night.
What, at his flat?
Yes.
What's it like there?
Well, it's difficult to compare with anything up here, George. Half of London lived the way he does. He's fine, don't worry about him. Thank you.
He doesn't seem unsettled then.
Good Lord, no. I've said the wrong thing, haven't I?
Yeah.
Oh, he's happy, George. Well, he sent you his love. He thought you might be going down there.
What about you? What are you doing up here? Whitstanton's MP. You ought to be down there sitting in the best seats.
Don't you start. I was badly advised. Let's leave it at that.
One cup of tea.
Why not?
Lake House?
Paula.
Yes?
It's Beth Warrington here. Is Mr. Warrington there?
Oh, yes, of course, yes. Can you hold the line, please? It's Bess.
Beth? How are you?
I'm well. And you?
Fine. Are you up here?
Yes, I came out this morning. I passed the Armada in my way. I was wondering, has anything happened your end?
Oh, not a great deal. I spoke to Desmond Crooks yesterday. He works slowly, even for a solicitor, as you well know.
Yes. My people have come up with an idea that may speed things up a little. I'd like to talk to you about it.
Well, of course. When would suit you?
Tomorrow morning?
Well, tomorrow morning's fine. I'll expect you about 10. Goodbye.
Hang on a minute. I want you all back here by 10 o'clock tonight. On this spot. And I don't mean 10 past, and I don't mean 5 past. These wheels start turning at 10 o'clock. And if you're not here by then, you make your own way home. Right? Right.
Oh, scrum down London, you don't know what you're in for.
Oh, just go careful. I want to see this game. I don't want to end up in jail.
Fancy some breakfast?
No, I'll eat with my friends, thanks.
I thought you might have been looking my brother up. Now you're down here.
Why? Do you know where he lives?
No, I'm not sure. He flits about a lot.
So much for that, then.
We could meet up after the match and see the town if you like.
Better not. Seems a bit mean coming all this way just for a few hours.
You don't give much away, do you?
I haven't got that much to give.
Enjoy yourself.
Oh, excuse me. Can you tell me where I can get a tube to Earl's Court?
Everything okay?
Anybody else out there?
Only me.
What can I do for you, Mr. Hayward?
Well, it's selfish, isn't it? We miss people most when we need them most. Are we all like that?
We're none of us saints.
Seems only 5 minutes since that if I had a problem, I was surrounded by people I could take it to. It was my dad. God knows I didn't get much sense out of him towards the end. Ellen, God bless her. Owen, Keir. Blake's the only one left now. I can't say 2 words to him without scrapping.
What's worrying you?
You remember that girl, Martha Blaze? Jack Blaze's widow. She works here in the club.
Vivacious-looking girl, big eyes.
Yeah.
Weren't Keir and she?
Yes. Yes, they were. I was against it to start with because, well, he was still alive, her husband, and it wasn't right. Look, Keir went down to London because of her. Jack died. The pair of them were free to do what they wanted, and he went off down to London. He never said why, but I'll stake my life it was because of her. Anyway, last night I stuck my oar in. I poked my finger into a couple of lives. I gave her my ticket for the coach. I told her to go to London and fetch him back.
For you or for herself?
For both of us. She's right for him. I want him back. Here, where I can see him and touch him and get the strength from him that I can't get from our Blake.
He is happy. I was telling the truth.
Happy or as happy as he can be. All the same, I was wrong, wasn't I? I played God. I ought to just let them get on living their own lives.
Oh, if I know that young lady, she wouldn't let anybody play God with her. In fact, I think she'd give God himself rather a hard time.
You reckon she wanted to go?
She wouldn't have gone if she hadn't.
Excuse me, tell me where this is.
Yes, that's it, over there. Just over there.
Thank you. You'd have no interest to me, people like you. You just like telling other people how to behave. Well, put your money where your mouth is, Keir. It's up to you.
Come in.
Hello. How are you?
Hello, Mr. Haywards.
hello.
How are you?
I'm fine, are you?
Oh, fine, thank you.
And Emil, how's that big grandson of mine?
He's very well. You will see next week he has holidays.
Oh, yes, Blake was saying it. You're not going far, are you? Not in this.
Oh, no, I'm only looking for this club where I can find Mrs. Warrington. Perhaps you can help me.
Oh, yes, I can. You go down that ginnel there, the entry, the passage.
Yes.
Turn left at the bottom, it's on the right-hand side.
Lovely, thank you. And the moment Emil comes, I will bring him to see you.
Yes, you do that. Oh, go in at the side door, it's open.
Oh, thank you.
Carla, did you want to see me?
Is it too late for
No,
your surgery?
no, not at all. Come on through. Come in, sit down. Is it about your permit? Is it due for renewal already?
No. It's something else. I don't know how to say this to you. I need your help.
As a member of Parliament?
No, as a woman. As the only woman in the world who can help. John has asked me to marry him.
I see.
Are you surprised?
No? Yes. Yes, I suppose I'm surprised.
That first day when I came to England, there was not much friendship between us. I hope things are better now. I have not changed. I'm still the same person. There was very much in me then that was not sympathetic to the English way of life. You are surprised I can attract a man such as John?
Oh, good heavens, no. I'm surprised that he should have asked you to marry him while he's still legally married. I would have thought he was more formal than that.
There are reasons.
Marriage to an Englishman would solve your nationality problem. Well, I suppose you're here to ask me to release him as soon as possible. I've already told him I would. I told him only today.
I did not know that. And that is not why I'm here. I'm here to ask you if I should marry you. Can I tell you a story?
Of course.
When I was in Germany at the end of the war, I was living in a little town called Arendsee. Arendsee am Altmark. And there were English soldiers there. And then one day we heard that Churchill and Stalin had drawn a line down Germany, that the English soldiers would have to go to the Western Zone and the Russians come to Arendsee. Well, many of the English soldiers had their German sweethearts. And when the day came that they had to go, they dressed their sweethearts in the clothes they wore and their tank suits, and they took them with them to the West. And there was a young English captain. He was a very kind man. He asked me to go with him, but I said no. Many women become the prisoners of kind men.
I see why you've come to me. I wanted, needed someone who cared less for me, who would let me live the kind of life I wanted to live, who wouldn't bleed every time I was hurt.
And John is not that kind of man.
I can't answer these questions for you.
Thank you.
Guess what?
What?
We won.
Is this what it's going to be like when we're married? You rushing off to see whether your football team's won or not?
It's going to be wonderful when we're married. It's going to be wonderful.
Why did you run away from me? Shall I tell you? You're like all men. If something's given to you on a plate, you don't want it. And that's what I was, wasn't I? Given to you on a plate. This is what Jack wanted, you and me together, like this. But because he wanted it, it was wrong. So you ran away.
It wasn't just that, and you know damn well it wasn't. I want to marry you. I want to. Not because Jack wants me to, but because I want to.
And you thought I couldn't see that?
Well, could you? It was always Jack that mattered, wasn't it? You said to me that he was the only real man you'd ever known.
Well, I'll make a man of you. Anyways, that's something else you're going to do when we're married. Pick me up on everything I say.
I want to marry you. Have you got that straight?
I better get up before that pal of yours comes back. It's a bit late for that. Yeah, that's the first time I've seen a black man close to. Not far away for that matter. It's funny somehow seeing a black man with 2 helpings of fish and chips.
What do you want with your chips? Coconuts?
Don't be silly. What was it anyway?
Skate.
Skate?
They don't know any better down here. Oh, God, I'm going to be glad to get home.
Oh, well. I'll let you come down here to get famous. But you've always got to come back to me.
Famous? Shouldn't think that's likely. You look like a fallen woman.
I went to bed with your Blake.
When?
About, I don't know. It doesn't matter. I don't know why. Yes, I do. I wanted him. Not him. Someone.
Sounds reasonable. You've got an incredible capacity for punishing yourself. Now, that's something you're going to have to give up. I'll stop picking you up in every word if you stop whipping yourself for every sin on God's earth. Now, get your clothes on.
Oh, hang on.
Okay?
Why shouldn't it be?
No reason, my friend. I got good news. Whitstanton win 18 points to 10.
I know. I went out for a paper.
You went with a beautiful woman. They don't know what to do, these white men. You don't deserve this. I bring wine.
Wine? What sort of wine?
I don't know. Wine. We celebrate. Unless
we celebrate.
What do you want to call him out for?
Well, he is, isn't he?
Come, yeah, so you, what do you do if I call you one?
Black your bloody eye for you. Hey, what about that driver, eh? What about that Johnny Lawrenson, eh? Never saw him. Once! Never saw him. Never bloody saw him.
Are you looking after him?
Somebody better, aren't they? Why do I always get landed with him? I don't even work with him. Sure, oh. You'll have the police on us. Hey.
Pull yourself together.
Oh, that man. Hey, I see where we'll go. We'll go to Soho. That's where we'll go. We'll get ourselves a taxi. Hey, taxi!
Oh, me, Go on, right?
I can't. What? I've got somewhere to go. You're gonna lose him.
Come here, you daft devil.
If I hadn't have come, would you have stayed here? Never gone back home?
I suppose so. There wouldn't have been any reason to come home, would there?
Did you ever think of me?
Now and again.
Do me a favour. You know what your dad said?
What?
He said the only thing that'd bring you back was what got shut of you in the first place.
He's a clever lad, my dad. When did he say that?
Last night. He gave me his shower ticket.
It's all coming out now, isn't it? Why didn't he come himself?
I wasn't feeling so good.
Why? What's to, isn't
No to worry about. He just didn't feel up to it, that's all. I was being selfish. I wanted to be sure if you did come back, it was for me.
Well, now you know. Are you satisfied?
There was never anything else with your Blake. Not since that one night. Never. Nothing.
Am I going to get this for breakfast, dinner and tea for the rest of my life? It's over. Done with. All right?
remember it. I'll wake up in the night and remember it, but it won't make the slightest bit of difference. I love you now. I'll love you then.
How are we going to get back?
Catch a train tomorrow. Not much to take. A typewriter, a few odds and ends. I'll give me rent to Cornwall.
Train on a Sunday, it'll take all day.
Yeah.
Don't panic, it'll only be Cornwall.
Switch on the light, will you?
Hello, little brother. Well, I made it. Hello there.
Hello. You did well, didn't you?
We both have. Seems we didn't know where he lived. How was Chelsea?
Fine.
Do you want a drink?
No, I better not. Blimey. This really is a flying visit. Took me longer than I thought. And we're due back on the coach at 10. Look, I wanted to ask you about Grandad's house. Don't you think it's time we sold it and split the money up?
We can talk about it, yeah.
I can't keep running down here.
You won't have to. I'm coming home.
Ah. Good. Look, I know this is daft, but we better get going.
I'm staying. Tell him to go without me, will you?
I'll give you a little tip, brother. She likes the left-hand side of the bed.
He knows.
He bloody would.
I'm sorry. I shall be making small talk. It's very remiss of me.
No. No, it would be very unfair if I let the evening pass without telling you. You're a good man. A kind man. But I cannot marry you.
Is there any point in asking why?
There are reasons. Good reasons. But you would not understand them.
I see.
Cream.
Yes, thank you.